And we are live. We're about to tackle a couple Best Ball Mania 5 drafts, number 9 and number 10 that we've streamed over on the channel. Spicy, which is try to fit a Q&A in the middle of the drafts. Yeah, no, 100%. Between the drafts, for the record, if you guys have any questions in terms of Dynasty, in terms of best ball construction, in terms of football in general, I'll take like 5 to 10 minutes because Spicy's going to get some food in between the two drafts. But we're tackling two drafts today, like we said. If you guys want to hop in with us, I'll give a live countdown, and we'll probably enter the drafts at we'll say the minute 30 mark, just to make sure a couple people can pile in here before we do that. So if you guys are in here, what about Call of Duty questions? Yeah, hey, if you guys have Call of Duty questions in between the drafts too, I'd be happy to answer. I've been low key frying as of late, but yeah, we'll focus for the football, at least for the drafts, and then yeah, if you guys want between the drafts to talk some COD, or even after the couple drafts to talk some COD, feel free, because you know I'm game. What's up, bro? What's up, Maddie? How you doing? We're just waiting for some people to file in, and then I can hit the start button. So if you guys want to, try to snipe me and make me mauled live on stream, which usually happens in these drafts, feel free. But at the minute 30 mark, I will give the live countdown. If you guys are in the stream, you guys can just join up. So it's about to be 1:30. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're joined up. We are, again, like I mentioned at the top, tackling a Best Ball Mania. So wait on 8 people. If you guys want to, come in, draft with us, chill vibes, feel free to join up. But yeah, no, we are just cooling on this fine afternoon. I mean, hell, we're June 10th already? I mean, what is that? 3 months from the start of the season? Exactly. July, August, September. Yeah, that's going to be wild. Smash that like button, bang that bell. Amen. If you guys are new to the channel, if you guys are seeing my hairy mug right in front of your face for the first time, make sure you leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. We try to come constant. We try to come consistent with that quality content. So if you guys are new, listen to Smooth Criminal, hit that like button and subscribe. What would you give on top of Terry McLaurin for T. Higgins? 12-team start 10 lineup. 1-year punt. Don't think I need to trade necessarily, but the owner wants out of Higgins' uncertainty. If you can do it for a cheap value, I definitely would be willing to. Like, if the equivalent between Terry McLaurin and T. Higgins is like a late second, like I'd be willing to swing that as well, especially if like you're a contending team. I'm a little bit concerned about the Washington situation, and I'm also concerned about Terry as a player himself. So, yeah. Best ball back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Andrew. I'm in the middle of my Dynasty startup. I traded up to get Evan Ingram in the 9th for my 14th and 15th that I mess up. I think you got a really good value there, honestly, especially if that's a tight end premium. Getting Evan Ingram 14th and 15th isn't really going to kill you. Like if I'm talking about the 14th and 15th round in the startup that we're doing right now, if I just check Flocked Up, see the draft, boom. So we're looking at Evan Ingram 9th round versus 14th and 15th. You're looking at maybe Gabe Davis and Raheem Mostert, Ezekiel Elliott and Cortland Sutton, Derek Carr and Rashid Shaheed. Like, I just give me Evan Ingram at that point, to be honest. What up, Danny? What's up, Joe? What's up? Glad seeing you in the stream as always. I told him I'd do my second 201 to 203 most likely, and McLaurin, but he says, yeah, like if he's hesitant about an early projected second and McLaurin for Higgins, then you're probably just not going to be able to do a deal there. What's up? Is there a date that the redraft rankings may go live on Flock by chance? I don't remember when they were added last year. So actually what will end up happening, so our best ball rankings, our super flex, and our one quarterback rankings will be updated throughout the summer. And by the time the season comes, we will also have redraft rankings. So that'll all be coming throughout the summer. Again, for now, our best ball rankings would be the best gauge for season long, which will be updated by the end of the day. I have them basically already. I just need to put them on the site. So if you need, you're in some best ball drafts right now, you kind of want to see where our rankings are at, they should be up on Flock, at least for this week too, especially because Corey is also coming back from Europe. What up, Danny? You watch any Theo Johnson film? Curious after Waller retiring. So I watched Theo Johnson film when I was doing my tape study. He ended up being, I believe, my tight end 4 in the class. He's your classics, low production freak athlete. And funny enough, I actually played against him back in the day. I feel like every single story I have, I played against the guy, but he's actually from Windsor. So shout out to Theo. He was from the Windsor area. I believe he played with the Essex Ravens. So also some Team Ontario stuff. So that was fun. But in terms of, projectability at the next level, again, like the guy is just a rarefied athlete. Can he run a consistent route tree? Is he consistent in terms of his hands? Not necessarily, but you need that explosive vertical seam busting tight end. I think Theo Johnson can play that role for you. Also, it does look like we are picking at the back end. And I swear, Giga Chad is in every single one of these stream drafts. Every single one of them. He is a constant. If you guys know, you guys know. Just traded for Neighbors with Addison, 2025 mid to late one, and a 2025 third. I'm comfortable making that move. As much as I love Jordan Addison, at the end of the day, his situation and honestly himself as a player is kind of limited to being a wide receiver too. Whereas for me, I think Malik Neighbors has the opportunity to break fantasy. So it sucks. I mean, I thought Addison, he was my wide receiver one. He still is my wide receiver one based off a talent perspective out of that draft. But I mean, he wasn't separating us consistently. We wanted to see last year. Downgrade at quarterback. Obviously, Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson when they're fully healthy. It's just when I'm looking at the situation, I'm looking at Malik Neighbors, the prospect profile that he has, the draft capital that he has, the opportunity to break fantasy football is in his range of outcomes. I'm cool with making this reroll every time. I traded a mid-second rookie pick for Aaron Rodgers in Superflex. I think that's more than fine, especially if you need quarterback depth to do that. Full PPR start 9. Yeah, I think especially in a start 9, all for it. Would you rather deal Love or Herbert? I have May as well, but there's a guy pushing hard to upgrade a quarterback. What would you want for them? Honestly, man, like I've recently made this switch, and Corey's going to know what I'm talking about, but I think I was even too low on Jordan Love. I had Jordan Love as a, mid to early second round dynasty pick, but the more I look at it, 25 years old, MVP caliber play last year, only an upgrade in terms of his weapons core, obviously stability there with Matt LaFleur. Like, why isn't Jordan Love a first-round quarterback in Dynasty, really? Like that's what I keep coming back to. We are on the clock here at the 110. Let's spice it up. Let's go with Garrett Wilson here. Let's go with Big Garrett. I feel like I've been taking Puka pretty consistently at that spot, but Bush is here in soul, even if he's not here in person. I know if the choice was him too, like I'm pretty indifferent with Garrett Wilson and Puka Nacua, and I know he's a little bit lower on Puka. Ron said Theo Johnson got a good grade for his prospect model. Yeah, no, I could see why. I mean, he's literally a rarefied athlete. Like we're talking about a 10.0 RAS athlete, and I'm not sure exactly what the combinations are in the model, but especially when it comes to tight ends, like you need them to be freak athletes, right? So would you give up Higgins for McBride? Already have Njoku? I mean, I have McBride ranked higher, but if you have Njoku, it just kind of seems redundant, right? Unless you can trade Njoku. Let's go JT or Barkley. Actually, you know what? Let's get. I haven't done this in a while. Let's get a Nico share here. Nico's my wide receiver 10. What I keep coming back to, again, I want to get a little bit different. Garrett Wilson's going at the end of the first round. A lot of these drafts, Nico Collins, you kind of see fall to the mid to late second. So could have a nice little combination there. And to be honest, man, I keep coming back to the fact that Nico Collins is the best wide receiver on that team. CJ Stroud obviously going to take a next step up in his second season. And when it comes to Nico Collins, I mean, we're talking about a guy that had 1,300 yards, has that 10-touch implied touchdown upside with CJ Stroud if he hits that upper percentile that we can expect. CJ Stroud is one of the few quarterbacks in the league that can threaten for 30, 35 touchdowns. And that big X wide receiver that really established himself on the scene last year. I mean, I think there's a real opportunity. We're talking about Nico Collins as a first-round pick in fantasy next year. So I'll mix it up. But usually would go Barkley. Usually would go Taylor. But I mean, Nico Collins, the guy I'm more than comfortable taking there. Offered a guy Nico Pittman and Brooks for Lamb and got denied. It's 12-team Superflex start 9 PPR. Am I crazy for thinking that's an easy accept? I would take Lamb. I absolutely would take Lamb, especially in a start 9. It's fair value when you're combining like all those guys from a quantity standpoint. But at the end of the day, I mean, when you're talking about the trade liquidity that CD Lamb represents, the overall point ceiling perspective that he represents as well, I understand why that guy held. Again, I am fine if you're rebuilding and you were to sell Lamb for that package, but if he's not rebuilding and he's in a good spot in start 9, I understand why he'd keep CD. I mean, CD was literally untouchable in fantasy last year, so I understand it, but I am extremely high on Nico as well, for the record. Stack team, by the way. Yeah, no, makes sense. What's up, Danny? What's up, Rylan? How you doing, brother? Just in the middle of a draft right now. We do see the one-on-one go a little bit off the board, but I kind of like that combo there. You stack up the week 17 there with San Francisco, Detroit. Cooper Kupp's a guy that I favor to a lot of the wide receivers in that range anyway, so I don't mind that. Now we're chilling. We're chilling. Corey's been doing his work, bro. Not to mention, I mean, he also pre-recorded a bunch with me. So big shout out, bro. Big shout out. I mean, he does, as you guys know, he does a lot for the channel. So love when I can give back too. You know, love when I can give back. Amonra, Ayuk, H-Han. That's a really strong fucking start. I'm not gonna lie. See what this guy goes here. Team 101 has some grit. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, like, that's a really unique combo. I don't know if I can get on board with Sam Laporta there at the 212. He's more of a late third for me, but you do have the week 17. Like, I understand why you would make that pick. We're about to be on the board here. That's another reason why I like the wide receiver pick, because you can go with a guy like Kyron, you can go with a guy like Pacheco. You know what? Actually, do I want to grab a wide receiver here? I don't grab any Tank Dell. I might grab a Tank Dell knowing that I have Nico and kind of see what I can play with here. Yeah, let's mix it up. I never grab Tank Dell. I actually don't think he's a good pick at this spot, but knowing we have the Nico correlation can potentially backdoor CJ Stroud. I don't mind, getting a little mixy here. Picking the lunch pail, guys. Amen. Hard grit, the working collar guy. I also just realized the correlation of his team, by the way. I just realized the constant of his team. Okay. No, I got it now, Spicy. That's actually fucking hilarious. Who do we want here? We could go. I mean, we were just talking about T. We could go full 4 wide receivers here. Is there any of the tight ends that made it back? Like, we could mix in a McBride. Yeah, I like waiting, honestly. You know what? Fuck it. Let's mix it up. Let's go. Actually, let's just go ETN. Fuck it. Let's just go ETN. I never get ETN. This is the all different picks draft, if that makes sense. I know how much exposure I have on my own, so we're getting some other exposures in. Just making fun. I know, but amen, bro. Yeah, no, he actually has been grinding. He showed me updates on the running back model, man. You guys are gonna love what's been cooking, man. The guy is on vacation, but doesn't mean he's vacationing. I'll tell you that. How many best ball streams y'all doing each week? Honestly, it really depends. Like, it's kind of tough for us at this point because when we want to do the streams, obviously, again, Spicy's been great for us, so he's been helping us out. But it's not like we can just like wake up in the morning. Like, obviously, we're gonna have to give him prep, and obviously, some days, when he can versus when he can't. Like, it would be different if we were in a state where best ball was legal. That's kind of where it comes down to. Like, we're at a point right now where, again, we're blessed that Spicy's been helping us out, but I definitely want to see underdog come back to Ontario, man. Need it. My boy. Let's go, Ethan. How you doing, brother? How you doing? And budget too. Yeah, fuck. I mean, yeah, no, 100%. But this is the classic wide receiver avalanche room. Kind of glad we got 3 guys we like at the top there. Hopefully, we can get a nice little falling CJ Stroud at that pick. That'd be great. But yeah, feeling good. Also, we'll have to give you guys the final update on the Dynasty startup we were showing you guys last stream. Gonna have to show you that the draft actually just finished, all 30 rounds. So you can see the Ladsters team. You can see my team. I am the Ladster, but you can see the Ladsters team. You can see Bush's team. You can see Flet's team. All the boys. It's gonna be a good time. Let's see. Does he keep the theme of his team here? Giga Chat at the turn. Kind of personal question, but do you and Corey work outside of YouTube? Always been curious. By the way, he did continue the theme. He got Trey McBride there. Shout out. That's actually a good question. So basically what ended up happening is when we met and when we started the channel, he was just finishing his degree over at Conestoga. I just started over at Guelph. He finished his degree, I believe, after the first year of the channel, and he started working accounting. You know what? At the end of the day, man, like his passion, my passion is doing what we're doing right now. So he ended up saying, you know what? Like, hey, like I'm making good money accounting, but if this is not something I enjoy and what I enjoy is focusing solely on the content of the channel, that's the decision I got to make. So he ended up making that decision, and I ended up making the decision to basically drop out of school. I was at university. I finished 2.5 terms. 2.5 years, whatever you guys classify that, 2.5 years. So almost finished up my 3rd year in a 4-year program, and kind of came down to the fact like, hey, the opportunity cost, what I'm spending here, both from a financial and from a time equity standpoint, trying to just learn redundant shit in school when I literally have the career of fantasy. And I mean, you guys know how much I love football. You guys know how much I love interacting with you guys, how much I fucking love this job on a day-to-day basis. So it really came to a decision where a couple years ago, about 2021 or late 2021, early 2022, we both realized like, hey, like this is the path we want to be on. We want to spend all of our time making this damn channel into the best thing we can be. And I'll just say right now, with the support of you guys, man, what we've been able to accomplish throughout these last 4 years, since we both, especially since we both ended up, going on to this path, man, like you guys have been everything in the world. I just want you guys to know that, like, genuinely. I don't know if I'm rambling a little bit there, but like sincerely, we appreciate what you guys have been doing from a support standpoint. What's your thoughts between Pickens and Olave? Similar stats overall, but Pickens seems like crazy value in the fourth. So the difference, of course, would be the overall target volume. Obviously, Olave is a target commander. Pickens hasn't really been. But from a pure weekly ceiling perspective, George Pickens is very, very close. And you can argue that George Pickens has a higher weekly ceiling. So for me, Olave is more of a mid-third. Pickens is more of a mid-fourth. Also, this guy just absolutely fucking hoed us. Are we serious, Casey Colt? Wow. You know what? Yeah, if that's the case, we'll take Mixon. We'll take Mixon. And good luck stacking that up, brother. Good luck stacking that up. You don't have Diggs. You don't have any of the 2 wide receivers. Good luck. No, I love that. All jokes aside, though, I mean, we just need an elite quarterback piece here, and then we could potentially backdoor the correlation with Houston. Because I mean, if you're thinking about it, Houston goes off in week 17. You have a quarterback that can get you over the top. Still, like it's still going to work out. Ooh, do we go with a nice little Roman Adunze? We go. Do have 2 running backs. You could go with a Kittle. You know what? Okay, I got the plan. Go Rome here. Actually. And then we'll mix in Dak and Ferguson. Love to hear that good shit, Danny and Bush. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. Have you ever tried the puppy butt superflex? I'd love to grab Hurts, T-Law, AJB in the first 3 rounds, along with Neighbors and Laporte in the 4th and 5th. Yeah, you're absolutely cooking there. And funny enough, me and Spice were actually talking about should we enter those in this stream, but we want to keep it for when Bush comes back. We don't want to just do a different stream. We'll keep the best ball manias, and obviously I don't want to deprive the guy of being able to draft the superflex team. Davis Mills round 18. Don't sleep. Hey, wait, hold up. He actually went off the board with his 5th rounder. He went different from the trend. Fair enough for the lad. Yeah, no, we are pretty much set at wide receiver. I kind of want to experiment here. So we have what? 4? Actually, no, we're not. I thought we had 5. No, we have 4. We're good. I thought we had 5 wide receivers. But yeah, no, we're chilling here. We're seeing the classic wide receiver avalanche. A lot of these rooms. I mean, Isaiah Pacheco in the 5th round is just so absurd to me. It's just such absurd value, to be honest. Like, we got Jacobs there at the end of the 4th, another really good pick. I mean, like every spot you look, you kind of just like the running back projection better. It's kind of weird this year. Yeah, appreciate 95 of you tuning in right now. Again, if you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure you leave a like. And of course, feel free to leave as many comments down below. I'm going to be getting through them. As the stream goes on. So appreciate you guys. But yeah, I know KC is also, I believe, a constant. I've seen him a couple times. Obviously, Giga Chat is like in every one of these rooms. It almost feels like. See what he goes here at this turn. Yeah, no, like I was saying though, the startup draft actually just finished. So between the drafts, I'll give you guys an update on that. Also, he just stacked Kyler. I mean, I guess he got the week 17 correlation there with Cooper Kupp, Trey McBride, and Kyler, but he's kind of just doing his own thing. He's kind of enjoying life. I don't mind it. Oh, this guy took Ferguson. Okay, well, damn it. All right, let's see what other correlations we got. Obviously, I mean the obvious one with Roma Dunze is that we can get Caleb Williams, but can you check the board for me, Spicy, here? Because with Ferguson going, we're probably not going the Dak Ferguson route anymore. Tough spot. Like we could check the Jags wide receivers. Wait, who was the top one on the board? Is it Engram? Okay. If Engram makes it back, we could also make it a Trevor Lawrence correlation because we have Travis Etienne and we can get Evan Engram here. So that's not bad. we can see what falls. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want to put ideas into these fucking guys' mouths or heads because I mean we're just gonna get sniped. They each have tight end spicy, but hey, like I've seen wild shit in these drafts, man. Thing like the naughty smoke is gonna realize like, man, this is too good of a value to pass up on Evan Ingram, even if I already have a guy. Never mind. Okay, you took the JMO route. Took the JMO route, and we get Evan Ingram. Nice. So let's put Trevor Lawrence in the queue, and don't worry, I'll make sure that we don't get panic picked him. I'll make sure ahead of time. But yeah, so we'll build up the Jags correlation here. We do have some intra-divisional there with the Houston there with Nico and Tank Dell. So we grab one Jags wide receiver at the end there, probably like a Gabe Davis type potentially, because I believe Kirk and Brian Thomas Jr. are off the board. So yeah, we are cooking. Who do you like better, Javonte Williams or Jerome Ford? Definitely Javonte Williams for me. Honestly, I would consider us some of the higher Nick Chubb guys in the space because I mean, at the end of the day, from an opportunity cost standpoint, Nick Chubb had the injury. Yes, it was a gruesome injury, but he had it at the beginning of the season, and he's going right now in the 11th to 12th round. And if there's historical precedence for people overcoming gruesome injuries, it's Hall of Fame level athletes. And I mean, Nick Chubb might be the best athlete in the NFL. Like he's up there with rarefied air of elite athletes. So if one guy's going to overcome that type of injury, which by the way, it was a lot cleaner than initially reported, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. And speaking of torn ACLs, we might have to take one here though. We could also grab DeAndre Swift. I just realized that we can do that. Let's grab DeAndre Swift because I feel like we can grab Trevor Lawrence and Caleb Williams as our quarterbacks and be happy with it. So we have 3 running backs. We're pretty good at running back for now. We have 4 wide receivers through 8 rounds, so we're probably going to need to add at least one in the next couple of picks. Oh, the guy who took Ferguson and Lamb got sniped on Prescott. Now that's tough. Show me Naughty Smoke's team. That's what I was worried about with Evan Ingram. Yeah, okay. So he also has Jalen Hurts. Like whenever you have Jalen Hurts in the Eagles stack, you always have to get the backdoor naked Dak Prescott, man. I love it. Let's go. Some rooms are vicious with boxing out at wide receiver. I started a Monter, Devontae, H, and Lamar Mark at the 105. Then I had to take 9 receivers total because running back value felt. Yeah, it's actually absurd how bad some of these rooms are in terms of just every pick you look like. You can't tell me with a straight face that Christian Watson projects better than any of those running backs picked after them. Or you cannot argue me right now that, I mean, if we're looking even further up, go higher, Spicy. Like you can't tell me go 4th round area. You can't tell me as much as I love Zay Flowers, Michael Pittman, etc., that they project better than Josh Jacobs. Every single pick you make, you're going to feel like the running back comparatively is the better pick. But if you just take the running back every time, you're just not going to be able to compete at wide receiver. So that's kind of the decision. And that's kind of something that me and Corey always kind of fight back and forth on in terms of these rooms this year, because he just wants to take the running back basically at every single pick. But I'm like, hey, like if you do that at every pick, it's like a kid in the toy store, man, or a kid at the candy shop, man. Like you want your Sour Patch Kids, you want your Sour Keys, you want your Mango Peaches, you want your freaking peach rings, fuzzy peaches, you want all these candies. But I mean, you're going to need your meat and potatoes sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just eat dessert every single meal. So weird analogy, by the way. I'm just kind of speaking off the cuff right now, but the point remains, if you want the tastier thing at every pick, because the running back is going to be the tastier pick, you're not going to have a balanced diet, right? So if you guys understood that analogy, leave it in the comments, but that was a little bit scuffed. Did we just get sniped on Caleb Williams in the 9th round? What are these guys doing? What are we doing? Why? Why double tap the rookies there with no correlation? Sick man. Sick man. Unreal. Okay, so we're going to need... I mean, fuck, what is wrong with this room right now? All these quarterbacks are just getting pushed up. What are we doing? This feels like a home league draft with all the panic at quarterback. What the hell? What the actual hell? What is Trevor Lawrence's ADP? Because at this rate in this room, I'm not even sure if we're guaranteed him. 120? Like, fucking Christ, that's insane. All right, so we just got boxed out at quarterback. We're going to need a wide receiver here unless the board is complete piss, which it is. Ooh, this is not fun. This is not fun. We'll go with a wide receiver here. We kind of have to reach a little bit down. Honestly, I mean, it feels a little bit early, but I might just have to go with AD Mitchell. AD Mitchell, and then we'll grab Trevor Lawrence on the wrap back, and then we'll try to force a Gabe Davis at the next turn. But yeah, I mean, 10 picks on AD Mitchell in this type of room right now is not going to be the worst case scenario. But can we see the overall grid, Spicy? How many quarterbacks went between my last pick and that one? What? 6 quarterbacks went in a span of what? 12 picks? Holy. Are we like what? I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. Sorry, you guys caught me. You guys got me caught completely off guard there. Like, what is going on? Because ADP is what 120. So yeah, we're gonna have to take him here for sure. Feels gross taking him ahead of ADP, but I mean, we kind of have no option in this room. So this is gonna be a 3 quarterback build. We're gonna have to get some young upside later on, and probably a stable option in the mid rounds. But we can land this plane. We can land this plane. Also, another shout out, AD Mitchell playing in the same division as Trevor Lawrence and as the Houston wide receivers that we have. So getting that little interdivisional correlation too, not too bad. But yeah, we're back on the rails. We're feeling good now. We're feeling good. Dalton Schultz here. Oh, cool. Wait, is that the only stack that you have for your CJ Stroud that you ripped right a pick before me? Is that what that is, Casey? No. If you guys are new to the vibes, by the way, we always do this when we get sniped, especially me. We're joking. But yeah, no. In terms of boxing you out at wide receiver, like, I mean, we're just seeing it in this room. Like every single round, it almost feels like I was saying, the wide receiver does not feel as good as the running back at that pick. And I mean, even like we're looking at this point, by the way, Dalton Schultz going ahead of Brock Bowers. Nice. So I keep coming back to it. You snipe us a pick before CJ Stroud, like when we have the 2 Houston wide receivers, but then you also take Dalton Schultz ahead of Brock Bowers to compound that mistake. Fair enough. But we're seeing a couple more running backs go off the board again. We're talking about Rashid Shaheed and Mike Williams in the 10th round. Older wide receiver coming off a shredded knee. Not really feeling that. Rashid Shaheed, I guess he's got some spike week potential, but it's still the number 2, number 3 weapon in a Derek Carr offense. Like, I'm not excited about these wide receivers. Josh Downs, the guy I'm actually pretty excited about. I mean, his reception perception ended up coming out very good. You guys know our thoughts about him as a prospect. And if you actually look back at his season, he did show some target commanding potential at spurts. So 11th round, definitely feeling that. Spicy, can you show us the board? I want to see how Gabe Davis ranks in relation to the other guys, because we're probably going to need to take him at one of these picks. Okay, so we got him there. So we have 5 wide receivers, 3 running backs, and a quarterback and tight end each. Is there any other correlators we can make? I mean, I guess we can not reach, but we can take Aaron Rodgers a little bit later on. So put Aaron Rodgers in the queue. Just go to quarterback. It would be easier for you. Oh, there he is. Okay. So we go Aaron Rodgers. So probably have to take him at the next turn. Other than that, I mean, that's really our only option, right? Maybe a late round Tyler Conklin as our tight end 3, but aside from that, feeling it. All right, so go up at wide receiver because we'll try to get Gabe Davis on the wraparound. I mean, it's risky, but honestly, go Cooks, and then we got to hope Gabe Davis falls back. That's pretty much where I'm at with it. And then worst case scenario, we miss out on Gabe Davis. Big freaking deal. We still have the double correlation with the ETN and with Evan Ingram. I just view Cooks as a much better projection, so we're going to play the value game. We're going to play the ADP game here. Yeah, feel free to leave some comments. We haven't had a comment in about 6 minutes right now. Pionio is the last one. So even if it's just random, like, for example, how would you rank Keon Coleman? For me, Keon Coleman and Gabe Davis actually goes the next pick. I am so sick. Keon Coleman is a guy, if I check my best ball rankings right now, I believe I have ranked as a fringe top 40 to 45 wide receiver, I want to say. Let me take a look. Who's that guy that took the Gabe Davis, by the way? Let me see his team. Keon Coleman, I have him ranked as my wide receiver 42 right now. So I'm cool with this ADP on underdog, especially knowing the spike week potential, knowing the attachment to the offense, but definitely wish he was a little bit cheaper. Go up more, Spicy, a running back. Just give me Leggett, honestly. Or Hawkinson. Yeah, I did notice him on the board. We have 6 wide receivers, so let's just get another tight end here. Get another tight end. You can get that late season resurgence. Obviously, Evan Ingram providing you that stability early on, and then as soon as CJ Hawkinson's healthy, maybe by midseason, can give you that spike week potential. And not to mention, opens a backdoor JJ McCarthy as a quarterback 3. So definitely don't mind that, especially if you're getting the little bit of ADP value when he falls to the 12th. But yeah, specifically with Keon Coleman. So where does he go in this draft? I believe probably round 7, Spicy, if I'm not mistaken. Round 6, round 7, from there. Like, yeah, he goes round 6, right? Okay. I probably would rather him more so as a 7th, but I understand him being pushed up the board because it's the Bills offense. I just really like the value of the other 2 wide receivers on the Bills as well. Like when we're talking about Khalil Shakir, when we're talking about Curtis Samuel, I feel like this is going to be very much a wide receiver by committee. And especially early on, like Keon Coleman, as much as I like him, if he's playing full-time X to start the year, I'm a little bit concerned. So again, I have him as, I believe, the top or the second top of that group. And I close the tab. Let me just take a look where he relates in relation to Khalil Shakir and with Curtis Samuel. Wide receiver. Curtis Samuel, I have ranked. All right, where is he? 53, and I have Khalil Shakir ranked 46. So Keon Coleman 42, Shakir 46, and Curtis Samuel 53. So that's where I have them in relation to the Bills wide receivers. But this is a really wild draft right now. I'm not going to try to pretend like it's not. There's a lot of just shit hitting the fan. Like the guy, can you show me Mura's team? Sorry, and then I'll get to your comment, bro. I just need to see what he's cooking here. Mura. He's the guy that picked after us that sniped Gabe Davis. Mura. So he also is the one that took. Wait, go back up for a second. He's also the one that took Average. You got decent value there. Okay. So he just took a naked Gabe Davis, I guess. I don't know. Fair enough. I mean, hey, if he likes the projection, I get it, but I don't know. 12 team start 10 PPR best ball 1.75 tight end premium in a heavy rebuild. I have a good shot at the 102 and the 101 and 105 in 2025. Trying to offload Pitts to get points off my team. What kind of return should I get late 1 and 2? I think a late 1 and 2, especially in a best ball, is probably fair. Like for reference, I ended up selling Pitts basically for that, a late 1 and an early 2, I believe. The 112 and the 202 this year. In a best ball, like you said, if you can get those points off your team, get a guy like Ted or get a guy like Luther Burden at that top of the draft. And then, like you said, transition Pitts into that draft capital. I feel really good about that. Again, I love Kyle Pitts. He's still a top 5 ranked tight end in my rankings. But at the same time, knowing it's a best ball and knowing that those picks hold a lot of value, especially in your situation of getting points off your team, I'm cool with it for sure. Spicy. So we have a 1-3-6-2 right now. Can I see, is Aaron Rodgers available? Okay, Aaron Rodgers is available. We're going to have to take him at this next pick. I do not trust these wall lickers on the turn. It's a COD turn, by the way, if you guys don't play COD. Let's see. So Aaron Rodgers is definitely going to be one of these guys. What's Tyler Conklin's ADP? Because he can wrap up our third tight end like last round and feel good. Like 200 maybe. Wow, he rose that much? Holy. Whew. I'd rather just stack with like Xavier Gibson at that point. All right, yeah, take Rodgers. And then we're going to need a running back at this next pick. So we'll check the running back board. It's kind of getting, I mean, like Chuba Hubbard's probably the best option here. I don't mind Antonio Gibson either. Algier's okay as well. We're definitely going to need one running back on the next pick, though. Definitely going to need one. I noticed, by the way, like the honeypot I feel this year for running backs has kind of been really up until like the round 13 area, because people keep pushing running backs back, keep pushing running backs back in the early rounds, and then you hit like round 13, 14, and like you're gonna have to make a big case for these guys actually paying off. So not ideal. I mean, we're probably gonna finish with a 5 build anyway, so it's worked out because we have ETN, Mixon, and DeAndre Swift. Feel comfortable about where we're at. Would have been nice if we got Caleb, but say Levi. Is Gino available, by the way? Like, I'm just curious if he's at the next pick. Okay, so we could get him at the next pick because they do play Chicago versus Seattle in Week 17, I believe. So we'll keep a tab on that. Get me Chuba Hubbard here. Feel like he can have some early season viability when Jonathan Brooks coming back from that ACL. Feeling good about that. Yeah, like Gino 171. Like if he falls back, I wouldn't mind closing off our quarterback build. Are they all by Week 12? Oh no, okay, no. Sure. Let me see this. So they're 12. Okay, yeah. So we'll get Gino at the next pick if he falls back. Then good call. I have checked. Have you checked out XDefiant? I've been put in over 20 hours so far. Gunplay is really smooth. Yeah, I've been playing a little bit of XDefiant. If you guys know Flet from the chat, he's been really enjoying it. I've been admittedly I've just been grinding COD recently, but I have stepped away, played a few games of XDefiant at once. It's a nice break when I'm grinding COD for like a few hours. If I want to hop on XDefiant, play a few games again, the pub system I feel like in XDefiant is a lot better than the pub system in COD. If you guys try to play pubs in COD, man, it sometimes gets so weird. Like there's absolute freaks running double shotguns, running riot shields, running freaking just literally sniping lane all game. Like it's just not fun. Versus XDefiant, like you hop on, man, you're just flying around the map, you're just shooting people. The one thing I will say that took a little bit of while to adjust is if you get used to the COD aiming, the XDefiant aiming just aims completely different. Like COD is a lot more controlled, slower paced aiming because the aim assist I feel like is a lot stronger. Versus with XDefiant, like it's all you, man. So like that little bit of difference has definitely been. I'm shooting straight regardless, but that was definitely a little bit of a learning curve going from COD to XDefiant. And on top of it, of course, like the movement system is a lot different, but it is a fun game. I will say, like, it's a game that, like I said, again, I can't grind for a long-term period of time because I just prefer COD. But like when I need a break and I can play a few games, I've been enjoying that. Especially there's the mode where you like have to walk the dog. I think it's called Escort. That game mode's fun, but let's see what this guy does. Does he grab another rookie quarterback? I heard JJ McCarthy, Bo Nix, Michael Penix might be on the cards here. So we'll see where he leans. If you guys don't get the reference, he's the guy who took Caleb ahead of ADP on us. So yeah, Marvin Mims. Oh, another great pick, right? I sound salty. If you guys don't know me by now, I am completely being facetious. Like I'm completely being ironic here. Like I'm not actually mad about anything. Actually, funny enough, Brock. So one of the guys that is really, really involved with XDefiant, he was actually one of the best COD pros of all time, one of the top 10, top 8 overall COD pros of all time. He's really been pushing it. If you guys are unfamiliar with Patty Ake, so yeah, try the Bass P. Yeah, I the only gun I've been using, I've used the what I use. I used the M16 because I believe the M16 was the first gun that you get on that game. And then I started trying the AK. I didn't mind the AK, to be honest. The AK was pretty fun, but I just got a level up a ton of guns. Like I don't even think I'm a higher enough level at this point to even play with all the guns. Meanwhile, I have a couple friends that have guns that are like gold and shit. Like it's wild. But yeah, Demario Douglas. Damn, that would have been a nice little fallback option. What pick is that? Is that pick 169? Giga Chad knows ball with that, I'm afraid. For the record, if you guys don't realize, Demario Douglas is one of the guys I feel like is completely underpriced on the market right now. I feel like there's a very strong possibility we could see. I don't want to throw this comp around, but kind of what Jacoby Myers was in terms of the slot wide receiver, undersized guy that exploded for the Patriots a couple years ago. I think Demario Douglas may be even better, and I project this offense to be even better than we saw with the Patriots the last few years. So Demario Douglas for 15th round, like I'm smashing that every time. You watching any shows right now? I mean, I haven't really been watching much overall. Like, I'll be honest, like a couple of times, we'll have a good night with the boys. We'll get lit. We'll just put on a cringe like Netflix show. But in terms of like actually like consistently watching it on a night-to-night basis, I haven't really had any. But yeah, also we do get sniped on Geno Smith. I mean, not really. He probably has Seahawks wide receivers, but we just can't get a quarterback to fall to us right now, I'm afraid. I mean, we have what, 2, 4, 6, 2. So we're pretty much loaded. We probably need one or two more wide receivers with this build. Go to quarterback here. We could go with a Levis. Does he have? Yeah, we could go with Levis. The reason being here, We can wrap up one other correlating piece with Tennessee in the last round, and Jacksonville does play Tennessee in the final week. So we could play both sides of that quarterback card. Grab Levis here. I like that. Young quarterback with some upside. I dig that. Yeah, I'm max level at 850 FF and COD are life. Amen, bro. Hey, like I think I'm like level 380 right now or so, 390. But Joel, I'm gonna sound like a sick fiend, but so when the new season of rank started, which is about a week ago. So that started about a week ago, and I've gone up. So I finished last season gold 1 because I just started like really getting into ranked and understanding how to play it a lot better. So I finished gold 1 last season. Got demoted to silver 1 to start this year because it demotes 3 ranks. So gold 1 to silver 3 to silver 2 down to silver 1, which is like 900 SR. And I'm already almost plat 1. Like I want to say I'm like 1 win off of gold 3, and I'm up like I want to say 2100 SR since the season started. Like I've just been absolutely frying. Absolutely frying. But we are almost back on the clock here. We're going to need a wide receiver. We're done at quarterback, so we'll keep that in mind. What wide receivers are available? Are there some nice little young guys? Jalen Tolbert? I don't mind that. We do have some Cowboys correlation there with Brandon Cooks. Yeah. You know what? Let's mix in the J Tolbs. Let's mix in the J Tolbs. Let's go. I was 90 SR from Crimson last season. Get on that grind. Amen, bro. Like, you're going to know this, especially as a guy that was almost Crim last season. But, bro, the skill gap between, like, dude, anything under, like, Plat 3, Diamond 1, bro, like, it almost feels like you can't predict what's going on in those lobbies because people run around like headless chickens. It's gonna sound great. It almost feels like a TDM at times because like I know the game well now. Like I was watching I actually went to the major live. I've been watching every basically series online. So like I understand like the concept of the timings, the concept of spawn knowledge, the concept of map knowledge, when they're going to be timing certain crosses, when to be playing certain angles. So for me, it's like I applied all this like information and knowledge that I've learned with a guy that was completely new to the game, so my rank was so low. So even though I'm like gold 2 right now, I feel like I can easily hit at least plat. But dude, once I started queuing against like diamond 2s, diamond 3s, like the difference in game between them and even like the plat 2s and plat 3s, it feels like at times, like certain lobbies, obviously there's just some cracked kids that are in plat 2. Like shout out Robin, he's gonna be diamond, he's cracked too. But like you get some plat 1, plat 2, rank 50 lobbies, and they're moving like silvers. Like I don't know how to describe it. They're moving like silvers. I'm telling you right now, rotation is everything. Use smotes, rotate early. That's how you can make the jump. Gold 2 definitely can get plat. Yeah, like I want to say I'm 1 game off of purples right now. So I believe my next game I'm going to be at, if not gold 3, at least like really close. And honestly, like you're saying, like I've been frying like plat 3s, diamond 1s. Like the only difference I notice is when I face like the streaking diamond 3s with past season crim skins, and I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I kind of just get put into a high rise blender at times when I face those lobbies. But other than that, I felt a lot better on the game for sure. Yeah, no, it's also nice. We have a nice little Twitter group chat with the COD boys now. So we've just been grinding that. Conklin almost made it back. I mean, we have 2 tight ends, right? Yeah. On the topic of COD, Black Ops 6 Omni movement looks insane. I'm actually decently optimistic. Dude, that shit looks insane. And hopefully by the end of Black Ops 6, we're talking about Optic as a back-to-back champs winners, because I just don't see any way teams can compete with Shotzzy on that movement. I'm not going to lie. Fact. Dude, it's actually insane. I'll run you'll get one game where it's like a plat 3 rank 50 who can't shoot his gun. And then the next game you got the gold 1 rank 6 who's clearly either on a smurf or hacking. And then you hop into the game and they're just dropping a 36 and 11. It's like, okay, well, invasion control 36 and 11 from this gold 2 purple streak rank 5. Like there's something going on here, you know? So we're set at quarterback. Running back, we could use one more. I don't mind a running back mix here. You know what? I know I know Ron was talking about, let's mix it around 17-10 Clyde Edwards-Helaire. By the way, Drake May would be in consideration, but we already have 3 quarterbacks. Fact. It looks crazy. Pumped for round-based zombies to be back. Amen. What rank are you? So I'm currently gold 2. I'm right about to be gold 3, but I started the season. So after I went to major 3, and after major 3, I just learned the game a lot more and felt a lot more comfortable. So I ended up finishing last season gold 1, demoted to silver 1 to start this season because of the buffer, and now I'm back up nearly gold 3. So I've literally just been climbing SR since the season started. And we'll go with a wide receiver here. We'll go, give me Raymond. Give me Raymond. We're feeling good. Optic W major 3. Amen. Yeah, no, I was actually live there in Toronto. I went with a couple of the boys. I was actually on the floor on the final day. So I bought the what's called the bowl passes, but the last day I guess they ran out of the floor passes, like to actually hand out to people. So when they asked me if I had one, I'm like, oh, they just didn't have any at the front, and they let me in. So that was nice. Again, I started following. I became an Optic fan because all my boys were Optic fans. They're like, hey, you want to come potentially go to this major a few months ago? And I'm like, fuck it. This was even before I was like really into it. So I bought the tickets with them. Then obviously a couple months later, I'm like, yeah, that aged very well for me, because now I've been very, very involved with it. I've been watching every league play. Obviously I was at the major. Like it's been good, man. Learning the game, especially. I'm the type of guy where like, if I start playing something, like I'm going to do everything in my power to be as good as I can at it. Like like I mentioned this last time we were streaming, but the same thing with poker. Like when I first played poker, I finished last of my friends the next time we played because I just kept studying and playing on my own. I ended up just wiping the floor with them. Rocket League, when I started, I was like a silver level player. I ended up peaking at GC2 before I stopped playing a little bit. COD is kind of like my next venture, but FaZe gonna win champs. Can't wait to see it live. Now, fuck FaZe, bro. Fuck FaZe. I will say, going into major 3, I was a little bit concerned, man. I'm like, fuck, man. Is FaZe just Cold War FaZe all over again? Like realistically. And again, for reference, like I followed the scene a little bit back then, but I wasn't really into it. But I remember when I was playing Cold War, all everybody was talking about was how dominant FaZe was. Now, obviously, now looking back, when I rewatch some of the series, when I rewatch some of the historical stuff, like you'll see, hey, man, like they're winning almost every major and they're winning champs. Like I thought legitimately this year's FaZe could have gotten to that level. So just glad to see we finally knocked them off, and then obviously laid the spanking down on Toronto in that grand final. So that was a good time. But Spicy's going to quickly get some food for the next 5 or so minutes. So he's going to grab some food. Again, I'll do a little Q&A. If you guys want to talk football, you guys want some more COD, feel free, man. I'm an open book. I'm chilling. I have my coffee right here. I probably should take a sip of it because I've just been talking, but yeah, feeling good. I mean, speaking of, I have a Battle Beaver coming in right now, and I got the control freaks ready to put on it. So if you guys see that, but yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, right now the current controller is not ideal. So just a stock one, but the Battle Beaver will definitely help that, because I believe this one I currently have has a pretty bad case of left stick drift. So not great. If anybody ever wants to play, add me up, Coin Daddy. I'll add you after the stream for sure. And if you want, message me on Twitter, because we have a little COD group chat going on the Twitter. So add me up on that. Yeah, no. I mean, if anybody has, again, COD questions, football questions, fire away. I'm just kind of an open book right now. But in terms of the football season, if you guys are unfamiliar, I'm obviously in Canada. If you guys didn't already know, I am Canadian. I mean, even if you didn't know, you could just tell by the way I'm speaking that I probably got a little bit of a northern feel to it. But all jokes aside, so I'm actually from Canada. The CFL season just started. So my hometown team played their first game on Friday. So that was a fun time. It's obviously a lot of fun in the summer, especially because when you can get those last day SeatGeek tickets for $20 on the 40-yard line in the 5th row, and you're just pounding beers back with the boys, it's a good time. Like last year, we actually went. So there was the Labor Day weekend, and then we had our fantasy football drafts like that night, right? So the Cats played against the Argos, Hamilton versus Toronto. If you guys are unfamiliar, big rivalry, right? They're playing on that Labor Day game. Me and my boys went to that game, but what was going on there, what was so weird is, so everybody had their seats, but there was also like a lounge section behind the behind the end zones. And I swear to God, I walk in there and like every possible person I could have recognized from high school was just in there boozing the hell up. And I'm like, I didn't realize we were just having a high school reunion at the Cats game. So I'm there. We're just all talking. We're all joking around. Every person in every corner is like, "Hey, yo, Danny lad, like, can you check out my fantasy team? I just drafted it. Give me a grade. How you doing?" So I swear the amount of phones I looked at and gave advice on how they did on their drafts was insane that day. And it was hilarious because I ended up checking my league group chat and one of my friends caught a picture of me helping somebody out in terms of like how they did in their league. And I'm like, what the hell? That's so jokes. He's like, yeah, Danny Ladd already helping out the people at the Cats game. And I'm like, Jesus. Later that night, we ended up going back to my base. A couple of the boys, we were drafting online, but a few of the boys that were in my hometown ended up coming back to my house. We chilled on the patio. We drafted our teams. The boys were, having a few drinks, hitting the pen a few times. So it's a good time. So hopefully we can repeat that this year. The most fun part, by the way, was getting our draft order via the FedEx St. Jude Open last year. So I ended up getting JT Poston, and I believe he finished like 5th or 6th among the golfers. The only full regret I have is, of course, I get the 6th pick, and instead of just being biased and taking my guy CeeDee Lamb, I took Stephon Diggs. So not great. Yeah, no, feel free. Hit me up on Twitter, and we'll do that. Falcons versus Cowboys. Hope you're ready for the L. I'm just gonna say, if we lose to you guys, I'll be pretty sad, to be honest. Honestly, man, at the end of the day, with the Cowboys, do I think that they're gonna make the NFC Championship, make the Super Bowl? You guys have heard me on here. Like, you guys have called me, he's a biased fan in the past, but like my expectation is we're probably gonna have another divisional round L, but that doesn't apply in the regular season. Like, people are kind of overstating, like, oh, the Cowboys are going to be this much worse, this much worse, this much worse. It's like, when you balance out that, and when you balance out, oh, well, they're getting Trayvon Diggs back, they're getting more stability up front potentially. Like, I don't see it. I still think they're an 11-12 win team. I mean, Joe knows the exact case I'm going to make. I don't want to sound like a broken record. I feel like every single stream I'm defending. Hey, I'm not defending the Cowboys in the playoffs, but if everybody thinks they're going to be some 8-9 football team, I will defend the hell out of them. Absolutely. Lions Super Bowl. I mean, hey, I can see it. We saw them really impressed down the stretch last year. 14 of their 17 games are in domes this year for the regular season. So they get a high seed. They finish as, the 1 or the 2 seed in the NFC. Maybe the 49ers get upset because realistically, outside of the 49ers, like, I think you can make the case for the Lions. I think you can make the case for, you guys know my thoughts on the Green Bay Packers. Like, there's just a wide tier of number 2 tier, or wide tier of second tier teams, I feel like, in the NFC at this current point. I still got to say that the Niners are the one, because, I mean, they're just so strong on paper. They have Kyle Shanahan. They have the most unstoppable offense when it's working at top flame. But, man, who knows? If a team's going to knock them off, I do feel like the best bets at this current point would be the Lions and would be the Packers. And I know the Packers one is just my hopium on Jordan Love, but I really do feel like he's going to take that next step. I'll always stand with you, Danny. Amen, Joe. Amen. Let's go. But Spicy is back, as you guys can see with the screen moving. We will be heading into this next draft. Again, Best Ball Mania 5 over on Underdog Fantasy. If you guys haven't already signed up over there, promo code FSC for $250 in bonus cash. So let's go. Let's enter this draft. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So if you guys wanted to get in, we are entering right now. We are waiting on one person. Maybe that's you. Who knows? Again, appreciate, by the way, 135 in here. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the support. And like always, if you guys are new to the channel, I answer some questions. You guys are enjoying the vibes. We're kicking it. Even if you're here for the COD talk, man, I'm sure future streams I will be talking some COD. Make sure you leave that sub as always. But yeah, we are at the 110. Did we pick 110 last draft too, Spicy? Christ, like, I swear every draft stream that we've done, it's always 105 and 110. Those are the 2 picks we always have. Unreal. But, wait, did he not make our draft this time? Can you go to, Giga Chad made it. Wow. Giga Chad made it. Do you play on console or PC? So I've always been a PC guy since I got my PC. Like Rocket League, I played on PC. Cold War, I played on PC. I actually bought the COD on console, and I'll tell you why. So I ended up getting an Xbox Series X from one of my buddies. Funny story. This is actually why I started playing COD recently, right? My buddy was selling his Series X. He got drafted by Calgary, so he was going to go to their training camp. Didn't really have time to play, so no problem. Bought the controller, bought the system off of him. And all my buddies were saying, like, well, what game are you going to get? Like, we're all on COD. You should buy COD. Like, and I'm like, sure. Well, I just bought the Series X. I may as well get COD on my Xbox. So I ended up buying it on my Xbox. Obviously, ever since that decision, I've been fucking grinding the hell out of it. Like, I want to say I started, like I said, at the end of Major 1, early Major 2, and I'm like almost level 400. So you can imagine how many games I've been putting in. But yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. All that NFC talk without mentioning the Eagles is nutty. Go Birds. I mean, yeah, they're in the tier for sure. Like, that's what I think. The Lions, the Cowboys, like I said, the Packers, I think, are the number 2 team. But those 3 teams, I mean, even if you get further, like I would say those are the main guys. But let's see the wide receiver position, Spicy. Hey, am I just missing another NFC team, or am I tripping? Oh, no. If I'm missing one, you guys can leave down below. But we are about to be back on the clock. I mean, if he falls, I'll give you an A.J. Brown share just because I have no A.J. Brown. But, hey, we went Garrett. Well, last time, let's go Puka this time. It also sets up the late 3rd round for a potential Cooper Kupp. Let me see here. You DM'd me. Let me see this. It's going to show up at my requests. Where is it? Let me see. There. Okay, I got you. Yes, sir. Bet. I replied to you. Yo, guys, what's up? Yo, what's up, Chill? What's up, Chill? Another OG of the stream. DM'd you on Twitter. Yes, sir. Rams are another bet. The concern I have for the Rams, so again, you guys know my thoughts. I think Matthew Stafford is a baller. I think Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. I think they have really good weapons, and obviously their offensive line was much improved last year. But like Aaron Donald was so much for that defense. So him retiring, man, like I need to see how good that defense plays before I can put them back into that group. Again, still a very talented team. I still think Matthew Stafford is one of the best 8 quarterbacks on the planet. I really do feel like he's that type of quarterback that can take you over the top. But I just have a little bit more concerns. By the way, Marvin Harrison Jr. is absolutely free here. The other thing, obviously, free in terms of value because we get a little ADP discount there, but also Rams versus Cardinals, week 17, baby. If we can get Cooper Kupp at that next pick and wrap around later on, get Kyler Murray, potentially Trey McBride, like we can onslaught this bad boy. Let's go. Let's go. Speaking of the Rams, obviously, it's funny. We were just talking about the Rams, potentially in terms of the seeding with the NFC, and we end up getting Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr., week 17, Rams, Cardinals. Devontae Smith and Aiden O'Connell. I have Minshew for the 107 and 307. Superflex like Brock May and Brooks a lot at my 1. Thoughts? Devontae Smith and Aiden O'Connell. Wait, what? So Devontae Smith and Aiden O'Connell for the 107 and the 307 is the offer? If you're getting offered the 107 and the 307 for Devontae Smith and Aiden O'Connell, I would take the 2 picks personally. That's our first MHJ. Let's go. Hey, I've gotten so much on my main, so I love getting one on the Jester J account. Let's go. 2 hot takes. Daniel Jones comeback player of the year, Raiders playoffs. First one specifically, Daniel Jones. I don't mind that. Because, he's playing some relatively good ball last 2 years ago. He was top 10 quarterback in fantasy. Like, it kind of feels like people just completely discarded him. So I don't mind him potentially bouncing back. I can't get on board with the Raiders playoffs specifically because the AFC, man, like I can argue they have the worst quarterback situation in the conference. And it's a conference that's just dominated by quarterback play. So it's kind of tough. Yeah, I get Smith. Is it a super? It's a super flex. Yeah, if it's a super flex, I have Rome Odunze ranked higher in my super flex rankings than Devontae Smith personally, Joe. So that's kind of where I'm at. You're not an AOC truther. I think it's about a 50-50 that him and Minshew start. You do have Minshew, so it negates a little bit of it, but I just don't have him valued as a 3rd rounder personally. But yeah, completely robbed the guy for MHJ Dynasty. MHJ Dynasty sent Ayuk. That is crazy, man. Well done, Katie. Well done. That's a great trade. I love that. Man, I wish I can get MHJ for that cheap. I offer for MHJ, and it was basically like Malik Neighbors plus a 1 and a 2. And I'm like, okay, I'm just not doing that. No, thank you. I'm good. Raiders will finish with 7-ish wins again and have a mid pick. 7 and 10 feels like the Raiders like area. Like between 6 and 8 wins is probably where I see them. I don't really get why people are sleeping on the Giants. It's tough with them because, I mean, at the end of the day, they're probably going to drop at least 3, probably 4 games in their division alone, at least to the Dallas Cowboys and with the Philadelphia Eagles. So the tough thing is that they could be a much improved team and still finish like 7 and 10 because their division, especially at the top with the Cowboys and the Eagles, is just the Giants haven't been able to beat those teams. I do feel like they're an improved team. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, can they compete with the Cowboys? Can they compete with the Eagles? I don't know. For the like 10th year in a row, amen. You guys love going 7 and 10. Favorite thing in the world. What is Cooper Kupp's ADP? Because I'm actually like scratching at the bit right now that he falls back here. Let's go. Who you like more than Smith at the one? I like, so for personally, I have Roma Dunze and JJ McCarthy ranked higher in my dynasty rankings personally. So that's where I'm at. W trade Katie. Yes, sir. Rome went. Offer got. Those are the best. When you just randomly check your inbox and you're like, oh, like I'm getting a really good deal here. You know what? I'm not even going to send a message back. Just hit the accept button. When you get that type of, you wake up in the morning, you drink your coffee, and then, oh, well, I got a sleeper notification. X person has proposed me a trade, and then you just see it's a great trade on your end. Typically speaking, when you see a trade in your inbox just out of nowhere, it's the most garbage thing. But sometimes you get blessed with a Marvin Harrison Jr. for Pacheco and what she said, Ayuk. Yeah, Ayuk. Yeah, give me that all day. And I'm an Ayuk and Pacheco guy, but Marvin Harrison Jr. has got the opportunity to be the startup 106 next year. So we love that. Or BTJ Ladd. Only Brock Books left. Wait, I don't. Yeah, like I can't do that with May on the board. You can't, brother. You can't pass on Drake May for Devontae Smith. You can't. I can't do that either. Like, I don't know what to say. I just can't do that. I have May over JJ, and I'm a Michigan fan. Michigan diehard. I'll try to find a picture for you guys, but I actually have a picture from me back in 2011 where I was at my first game. Oh, we're on the clock here. My apologies. Laporta, fuck it. I'm so sorry. I just assumed Cup would be here. My apologies. Sure. My bad. They're spicy. I put you on the blend. I kind of just went a little off topic there. Let's lock back in. We'll take. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, he could have taken Laporta, and we could have taken his. At least we paid him back. Hey, you're gonna snipe our Cooper Kupp? Well, joke's on you because your Sam Laporta is not falling back. Nice one. Let me see what's available here. Wide receiver, like we could go with like a Zay here. I mean, like let's be honest, I probably should have waited on McBride, but say Levy. I'm gonna go with probably Zay or Higgins, whatever falls back here potentially. Hopefully, at least one of them does, and one of them is not guaranteed to actually because there's 2 picks. Gave Rome 25 first and second for Neighbors and Addison. I'm doing this move every single time. Quarterbacks are Caleb Herbert, etc. Going to package Addison a quarterback to get a what? Yeah, I'm more than comfortable doing this, especially knowing that those are 14-team first and second rounders. Absolutely. Give me Zay. Give me Zay Flowers. Drafting right now. Go Michigan. Amen. Go blue, baby. Go blue. Really, wow. Reddit telling me to take that trade, that first to go against. Yeah, I mean, Drake May, if you want to know where I have Drake May ranked in my dynasty rankings, I have Drake May as a mid-second round startup value. What do you like about May? Why will he hit? 3rd overall pick, 6'5", 220 pounds, 800 plus rushing yards in his junior season. One of the strongest arms we've seen come out in recent time. Yes, he's a young quarterback. Yes, he makes young quarterback mistakes, but if anybody's going to ascend to the, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, that tier of quarterbacks, it's going to be the 6'5", 220-pound gunslinger. Like, honestly, when I keep coming back to Drake May, people want to call him raw. People want to talk about his footwork. This is a 21-year-old dude, man. This is a 21-year-old dude that had 38 touchdowns last year before losing his entire wide receiver core at UNC. So I'm not worried at all. I think he's going to end up as the second best quarterback in this class, and I would much rather him even to Jaden Daniels. And feels like people view that as a hot take, but I have Drake May literally as my 205, 206. Let me check exactly so I can confirm in my Superflex rankings. I believe he's my 17th or 18th overall player. It's my 17th overall player, so I'd be willing to take him upwards at the 205 if I had to. Jacoby, the starter, though, no. Maybe for the first couple of weeks, but this is Drake May's job for the long term, absolutely. Go green, go green. You a Michigan State fan? Oh God, yuck. Fun fact, actually, my first game I've ever went to, like I was alluding to, so 2011, Michigan versus Michigan State. Back when Denard Robinson Shoelace was our starting quarterback, I was at the Big House on that final game-winning field goal. So let me see if I can find a picture. Danny, I definitely posted it on Twitter before. Michigan. Let me see here. Is it just not going to show? I swear. Go blue, maybe? Surely I posted it, right? If I didn't, that's actually a throw by me. All right, I'll come back to it. I've got St. Brown, MHJ, Diggs, Shakir, McLaurin, Worthy, and Mike Williams in my wide receiver core. Looking to upgrade or trade for one running back or quarterback. 12-team Superflex. What value should I look for with a Shakir plus McLaurin type deal? So I'm actually a little bit higher on Shakir compared to where I was even at the start of the offseason. So if I can find this, Shakir plus McLaurin, we're looking at ADP wise. Again, I got 13-3 McLaurin or Shakir in this draft, but for me, I kind of have him valued as an 11th, 12th round startup pick. So for equating that plus McLaurin, who's what, like a 9th, 10th rounder? Where'd he go in this draft? Terry McLaurin. He went at the end of the 8th. So we'll say a late 8th plus an 11th. Can you go up and get James Cook, Isaiah Pacheco, Kyron Williams, Jonathan Brooks, Josh Jacobs? Can you get a running back like that? If I have Kyler Burrow and Carr right now, too, that's why I would trade. No, it's definitely fair. You do have a ton of quarterbacks. Like I do understand it. It's just I have May so much higher than the trade package that you had. What do we have here? Wide receiver. Okay, no running backs here. Go back up at wide receiver. We're definitely taking one. Ridley. We could go with Ridley. No, let's go with Ridley. Because I know I always back default to like Jags Titans correlation, so that's definitely a nice spot to be. Yeah, definitely get Kyler in the queue, get Stafford in the queue, and get Will Levis. I would say. Well, obviously, hopefully we don't get auto pick Will Levis, but you know what I mean. Fair point. I'll take May. They've been watching you religiously for years, so I trust it. Hey, Matt, hey, chill. I remember seeing you back in like 2021, 2022. Appreciate the consistent support, brother. It means a lot. What if May not on the board? One pick ahead of me still would leave me with Brock, Brooks, or one of those wide receivers or JJ. Yeah, like I'm not going to lie. I just have Devontae Smith valued closer to the 109, 110. So for me, I just can't trade the 107 in that deal for him. Like it's just not. Like I would rather either a better wide receiver or just drafting a wide receiver. Like assuming it's Rome, right? You said Rome or yeah, I'm not taking Brooks at the 107. It would be Brock or JJ if May goes for sure. Do we just go with another wide receiver here or do we take A-Rich? I mean, like Shroud's also falling at value. Would have been nice if we got that last draft, but Go Dunze. Go Dunze. When in doubt, default to a Dunze. So we're very strong at wide receiver. Like this is a bog standard 0 RB, and we're going to be backfilling. Probably going to be taking Kyler plus 2 running backs in the next couple of rounds. Hopefully Kyler makes it back. Let me not just pigeonhole that because I've seen some wonkier shit in these drafts. Like who has McBride in this room? Could he go? He could go Kyler. Ooh. Just got to fade one guy. Also, Curtis Samuel year. Yeah. Rome is gone. Okay, sorry, my fault. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Where is my picture of when I was young at the Michigan game? Maybe I searched it with champions. Yeah, okay, here. Was it 2011 or 2012? Actually, it might have been 2012. Wait, hold up. Michigan versus Michigan State, 13-12. Football. Was it? Here, sorry, my apologies. Let me try to find this. Is it 2012? I believe it might have been, actually. Let me just take a look. Whatever the year, it was 13-12. Was it? Sorry, not 13-12, 12-10. My apologies. I knew it was a game-winning field goal. My apologies. But it was actually 2012 season. 2012 season. My apologies. But yeah, let me take a look if I can find this. If you guys are unfamiliar with, yes, I didn't just follow Michigan once they started winning, once COVID happened. Like this is OG lad over here. This is the OG lad, sir. Like we got the braces, we got the mohawk, we got the the hot dog set up here. We got just one of the boys running in the background. My entire football team ended up taking a bus over to Michigan, crossing the border, and then we just ended up watching the game. But this was actually the first college football game I ever went to. Went to that year. I actually went to both Michigan versus Michigan State. I said 13-12, like I said, but it was actually 12-10. My apologies. I just remember the game-winning field goal. It's pretty wild. That's when I first found out that the college timer actually stops when you get first downs. I didn't actually know that, and obviously, like I was 12. I didn't realize. I just assumed everything operated other than the CFL as NFL rules. So makes sense. But yeah, and if you guys check that tweet, shout out Toronto Dave, the young tone setter, can confirm. What's the highest you've taken Odunze in a Superflex rookie draft this year and in a startup? He dropped to the 410 to me in a 14. What? 410 and a 14-teamer? I would take him at the 310 and a 12-teamer. That's absurd. But yeah, I mean, like I have him currently in my Superflex rankings ranked as my 29th overall player. So yeah, you can imagine how much I enjoy that. For the record, I still wouldn't take him above 106 because I would still take Drake May. I'd still take Jaden Daniels. I would still take the two other wide receivers with Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. And then obviously the golden child himself, Caleb Williams, is also up there. So 106 is the earliest. Latcher, what's up, Bindles? What's up? Shout out Bindles, by the way. Recently joined the Devi startup. So Bindles in there, Ron Stewart, Bushy's in there, Fletsky. A lot of the boys are in that league. So I'll share the team in a second, but we are on the clock. Kyler Murray is the pick. I mean, there's no thinking here. I'm not trusting Giga Chad with anything, knowing that this guy is just going to snipe me because he always apparently loves sniping me. So, yeah. You know, like Devontae Smith, maybe I'm just high on him, I guess. I think he could be a one day. No. Could be a wide receiver. The problem, though, is that he's going to be 26 years old. He's in a low-volume offense behind an alpha number one wide receiver. I think he's a very good wide receiver, too. And honestly, I still have him ranked in the wide receiver 16, wide receiver 17 range of my startup rankings. So it's not necessarily that I'm low on him, but more so that Rome Odunze has the upside to truly be a top 5 dynasty wide receiver. Brock Bowers has the upside to be the dynasty tight end 1. JJ McCarthy, Drake May, Jaden Daniels all have the upside to be legitimate quarterback 1s in dynasty, which they just valued more than a wide receiver 2. That's kind of what I'm back to. Again, Devontae Smith, I think, is a stud. I think he's one of the top 12 to 15 real-life talents, but we're playing fantasy football. We're not playing for real-life talent, and it's just tough to project him really taking that leap. But, yeah, Jonathan Brooks or Ramondre. I go with Ramondre because we need early season production. Knowing that we're full zero RB here, we kind of got to get that early season rock, which I think Ramondre Stevenson can be for us. And we're probably going to have to take like 4 running backs in a row at least. Could be wide receiver 1. No, definitely talent-wise, I agree. 12-team Superflex start 9. Kyler, AR, Saquon, Gus, MHJ, London, Higgins, Pickens, Worthy, Franklin, Laporta, Ferguson. Would you move Laporta for a top-tier running back to compete? If it doesn't cost too much to go from Laporta up to one of the top 3 dynasty running backs, talking about Bijan, Gibbs, or Breece Hall, like if you don't have to add too much to make that move, I like Jake Ferguson. Again, it's still a start 9, so maybe you lose that overall dominance at the tight end position. But if you're supplementing that with a Bijan level running back producer, a Breece Hall level running back producer, or even a Jahmyr Gibbs level running back producer, like I'm doing it absolutely. You have an anchor right now with Saquon. You get your other anchor there to head your RB2 slot or RB1 ahead of Saquon, whatever you consider it. And then you still have elite wide receivers, 2 very, very elite quarterbacks, and a very, very good tight end option. So if you can work up, again, let me know if it's too expensive. If the guys with the top 3 running backs in your league want an arm and a leg for them on top of Laporta, it's probably not going to happen. But like, if you can be able to get that done, and maybe you can get Jonathan Taylor straight up for Laporta, like that's about as low as I'd be willing to go. Or maybe, who knows? Like maybe somebody says, hey, I'll give you Achane plus for Laporta. Like I would try to add to Laporta to get one of the top 3 guys. I'd be willing to take straight up with a guy like Jonathan Taylor. And if you can get a little plus moving down to like Achane or one of that tier of running backs, I would also be okay with that. Dog, what's up, Bindles? Yes, sir. How fucking sick is my profile picture, by the way? That's Jules. Oh, absolutely, bro. Dude, every single time I see the jewels pointing up, I know, hey, Chill's coming in the chat. I also know, like, hey, Chill, your name wasn't always Chill on YouTube. You can let me know in the comments, but I remember you commenting under a different username with the exact same PFP. Did you change it? Because I swear, like, obviously I've known Chill for the last big while, but I even remember back in 2021, 2022, the same profile pic with a different name. So let me know. San Antonio team made it to the UFL championship. Let's go. Is that the team that am I tripping? Or I know Hakeem Butler won offensive player of the year for a team. I actually wasn't following. I just saw it posted on Twitter because in the group chat we're in, people sent Hakeem Butler, and I just got reminded about how I had him wide receiver 1 in 2019. So that wasn't ideal, but yeah, shout out San Antonio, the homeland of the boy Spicy Hot in the background. Let's go. Big Texas lad. Let's go see. Going to see all their games this year, and the quarterback is a former Raider. Let's go. Who's their quarterback? Comment it. My B, you said you would take a wide receiver and Brock over Smith or May if he. No, I would take May. May's my 103 in this draft. Like I can't pass on him. Like I honestly, like if May falls to you at the 107, I would rather just trade one of your other permanent one of your other quarterback options that you currently have. Like that's how I would play that. Yeah, trade Benson too for late season upside. Sign me the hell up. And we also have the Arizona correlation. Hey, sometimes 0 RB can be scary, especially if you're new to it. But when you're landing the plane with a Ramondre Stevenson and then a Trey Benson for late season upside with the week 17 correlation built in, I ain't complaining, man. Yeah, I'll take the wide receivers and figure everything else after. Let's go. Bindles, God, we're always in the same chat. What's good, Tyler? What's good? Rome Pro Comp is Larry Fitz. Rome is a stud. Let me check what mine was for him. I believe, funny enough, I mean, we're just talking about Michigan. I believe my comp for him was actually Braylon Edwards, if I'm not mistaken. So Braylon Edwards, if he had any real work ethic, I mean, we saw what he peaked at in the NFL. He was a high draft pick, had a really, really high peak. Imagine just Braylon Edwards with a really good work ethic. That's what I think Rome Odunze could be. I think he could be a perennial 1,200 plus yard receiver. And people might hear the name Braylon Edwards and know how his career turned out and think, oh, yeah, that's a slight, man. That's so disrespectful. It's like, no, Braylon Edwards was a dog. Did all the running backs get ripped off? Okay, go up. You might grab Caleb. Yeah. We're just talking about Rome. Let's get his quarterback, baby. Let's go. And then we're just going to have to smash a couple more running backs. Pause. Fair. It is low volume offense they run. Yes, sir. Tyler Nable, know you. A woman in the chat. Hell is frozen over. Amen. But those, I thought those were hard eyes. I was going to say, I'm like, you already got the hard eyes on your PFP, eh? Nah, I'm joking. I think McCarthy is highly... Dude, you're preaching to the choir, man. People want to talk... like Michigan doesn't trust him. All they do is run the ball and play defense. It's like anytime Michigan was in 3rd and 6 plus, 3rd and 7 plus, they needed JJ McCarthy to have the ball in his hands and make a play. JJ was making that play. Now, again, I don't know how translatable that play against Alabama specifically was, but when you got a quarterback with the athleticism that can OBJ one hand, throw around Dallas Turner and delete it, and complete a dot on the sideline in a big time semifinal game, like that just shows you the balls on that guy, man. He's got some balls. Who are your sleeper tight ends this year? I like Hunter Henry, Chig, and Dallin Holker. Dallin Holker's an interesting name. So he was pretty productive. Obviously, ends up going undrafted, but potential situation there. I believe he ended up getting picked up by the Saints, right? If I'm not mistaken, because I do remember him floating in the prospect circle. So interesting thing there. Hunter Henry's a really good one. My main sleeper at tight end is going to be Tucker Kraft, specifically because I prefer him straight up to Luke Musgrave, and he goes way after Luke Musgrave. So for me, like every time I'm building Green Bay correlation, why take a Luke Musgrave in round 14 when I can just wait for the better tight end in the last round of my drafts? I've been doing that a lot. Ben Sonata obviously is going to be a big guy, man. If you guys have been following the channel, you'll know I've literally coined him as potentially Laporta 2.0. Stylistically fit in that Washington offense. Again, you can argue in terms of overall volume, in terms of overall scheme, not really like what we could expect there with Ben Johnson, with Jared Goff over in Detroit, but in terms of prospect profile, I really do feel like Ben Sonat profiles similarly to the Sam Laportas, the Trey McBrides, these guys that can be used around the line of scrimmage and can give you that elite yards after catch ability. I really do feel like Ben Sonat can be that guy. So you guys know how much I love Ben Sonat if you're following us in the Dynasty season. Greg Dulcich is still going to be a guy I have my heart on, man. Like you guys know how high I've been on Greg Dulcich over these last few years because I've been following for the last couple, but still like Greg Dulcich. If you can get him cheap in the last round, I'm cool with that. Noah Fant's got some upside, athletic guy there. Jawan Johnson potentially. Those are the main guys for the most part. I kind of just pick and choose between those guys in each draft, and I love ending off round 17, round 18 with those guys. FSC for life. Appreciate you, Connor. Appreciate you. You could tell the good people about me taking down the FSC listener redraft league last year. Let's go. Let's go. Watching Dallin Holker tape. No, I watched him a little bit in the prospect profile. Did he actually go 5th round? I thought he went undrafted. Wait. Dallin. I thought he went undrafted for some reason. He let me see. Yeah, let me know. I actually didn't realize he went in the 5th round then. Noah Fant's another good one there. Shout out Tyler. Charbonnet. Yeah, Charbonnet. And then hopefully on the next turn we can get Ty Chandler. This is definitely a 6, probably a 7 running back build. But we make it up in the numbers, baby. We make it up in the numbers. Telling you, let's go. 5th round rookie draft steal. Let's go. How close are Nico and Higgins in trade value, in your opinion? How close are Nico and Higgins in trade value? I have Nico about wide receiver 15, wide receiver 16 in Dynasty. T. Higgins more so at the back end of the top 24. The difference would be the difference between like a 4th round startup pick versus a mid-5th for me. So maybe like a late second, something like that. I think that's about fair. We will be taking Ty Chandler here. Let's go. I know it's technically a little bit early based off the ADP, but I just feel like he projects better than a lot of the guys. So, and I don't trust this room in making it back to me. Butler was on St. Louis. My fault. Good one, Tyler. We beat them in the playoffs. Oh, fuck. Bad news for you, Bindles. Bad news. Bindles was getting some hope. Don't kill me. We beat them in the playoffs. Chase Garbers. Oh, that makes sense. Oh yeah, I changed my name. I knew. Chill. You can't pretend like I don't pick up on these things. I remember you guys. Yeah, Bindle's got big catfished. Ripping the chat for Big Bins. Nah, I'm trolling. Raider backup legend. I think I could get HN in a late first last year for Laporta. If you can get HN in a late first, you're doing it. You're absolutely fucking doing it. Same guy also has JT. Yeah, if you can get either of those, I mean, I would rather have HN in the first, straight up. Like, I love, you guys know my thoughts on HN if you watch the best ball rankings video, but I digress. But yeah, if you can get HN in the first, doing it. This is my girlfriend's account. She has YouTube Premium, so I signed in. Hey, do what you got to do, bro. Do what you got to do. Yo, YouTube Premium is actually the GOAT. Real talk. Not a sponsored video, by the way, but I remember when I first got onto YouTube Premium and I was like, like, I don't have to skip ads when I'm at the gym, or I don't have to skip ads when I'm driving somewhere. Like, most of the time I'm listening on my Apple Music when I'm in the car. But sometimes when there's just specific songs you want to listen to, I don't know what it is, but I'll just hop in YouTube and then it'll just give me random fucking playlists to listen to. So sometimes I'll be listening to YouTube music. I ain't gonna lie. I got YouTube videos playing. So not having the ads is very nice. 5th round rookie draft steal. I met with Holker. Oh, that makes sense. Fair enough. Bro got cap. Yeah. My call for Sinat when I watched him was Gronk, just like it was for Laporta. Hey, I respect it. Now, for me personally, they play more so like a Kelsey type. But man, like if you're getting Kelsey, Gronk, like those are arguably the 2 best tight ends of all time. So I digress. Rip Darren Waller, by the way, bro was good for 2 years and had everyone fooled. It sucks, man. Like, I don't know if there's something like personally going with him. Obviously, if you guys know what happened, he ended up breaking up, I believe, with Kelsey Plum. So I don't know what's going on with him. Obviously, now he's like in a rap or something. Guy's a fucking wild card, man. I just hope he's doing okay, because the way his career kind of basically ended is kind of tough. Yeah, like target him late, 2 facts, sucks injuries, amen. Yeah, no, I agree, Spicy. I hope he's okay. Would I be able to hop on for a pod sometime as a longtime fan? I know a lot, man. You want to book like a consultation, or what do you want? Let me know. Waller was good last year per PFF. Think he just has some shit going on. I absolutely think he has some shit going on. Again, like I was kind of saying, I'm not the type of guy to just say, hey, like, this is what's happening with someone's life. I don't want to fucking peek behind the curtain on people, but I do know, like, the way things have kind of materialized in the last few years. I hope he's got a good support system, because like him getting hurt, even when he was on the field not playing as well, obviously, the drama, he breaks up with his girlfriend. Now he's into rap all of a sudden. Like, I just hope he's cleared up. Yeah, like mental health is absolutely tough, man. If you guys, like I've said, if you guys are dealing with anything, my DMs are open, so feel free to reach out. But yeah, no, I've had my experience in the past, so I just want people to know that there's always somebody out there. There's always somebody else out there. I watched him in podcast. Yeah, no, that. Yeah, like I don't know, but yeah. Ray Davis for sure. So we got 5 running backs now. We probably need to close off with 7 total. So we'll grab a wide receiver probably as our last guy in the next round. Go to wide receiver here, Spicy. I want to see if like Polk or them is available. Is Demario Douglas? Ooh. Put Demario Douglas in the queue. We will get him probably at the next pick, if I mean. I meant like AD upon. Oh, fair. Yeah, no, we potentially. Again, we haven't talked about anything, but yeah, no, we can figure it out. Potentially, yeah. Running back. Who do I want here? Algier probably. It's kind of tough. Yeah, we'll go with Chuba Hubbard would have been great. Chuba Hubbard would have been fantastic to fall back. Fuck. All right. We will we'll go Algier. Tom, guys, who is Spicy? Is he the plug? So y'all, if you're unfamiliar with Spicy, he is the spiciest of hot tacos. If you guys are unfamiliar, all jokes aside, he is our mod and he does help us do these drafts, so we appreciate him a ton. I mean, he's been realistically, he's been with the channel since we started, man. I actually don't know how you found us, Spicy. You can let us know in the group chat, but that's actually wild, because I do remember when we had like 50 subscribers, you were still here, so appreciate that. Like, and my name on here was All Flakes No Corner, just my name Charlie. I changed it. That makes sense. Okay, all right, that makes sense. 6-man, yes sir. Yeah, hopefully Demario Douglas can fall back. That is the perfect wide receiver to end on. The perfect one. So after this draft finishes probably about the 145 mark, we can probably talk, a couple last questions until the 150, 155 area. Do you guys actually know him? We know him from YouTube. We actually did end up meeting him in person when we went to the Texas Buccaneers game a couple years ago. So shout out Spicy T for making it out to that as well. That'd be cool. Yes, sir. I was just looking for tight end rankings. LOL. Yeah, fair. Hey, it worked. It worked. I'm 24. Let's go. But not an old head. Yeah, no, I'm 24 as well, brother. I'm 20. It's the goated age. It's the goated age. It's actually crazy thinking how young we were when we started. Like I call Corey old man Bushy, but the guy was literally 2 years younger than I am now when we started the channel. Like the guy was 22 years old and I was 20. So it's just crazy to contextualize. Like I'm literally in my mid 20s now. So that's fucking. This guy's past his mid 20s. This fucking guy's gonna be 26 years old. God damn. Let's go spicy. By the way, not an old head. Yes, sir. Okay. These front fuckers told me to draft. Yeah. Hey. Amen. Amen. Hey. We both draft. I mean, also my Trey Lance stuff, bro. Fuck that. We both we all have our good and bad takes. I'm not gonna lie. If you guys are following the channel and expecting me to be perfect, I'm just gonna say it right now. I'm far from it, man. I'm far from it. I do have some really hot takes, really ones that fame out or pan out, and some of them like Zach Wilson and Trey Lance. I mean, it happens. It happens. If we were batting 1,000, why even fucking make content? We'd just be fucking winning money. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Like fantasy is a 50-50. But if we can do our research, we can provide you guys with as much information, as much experience as we possibly can. Maybe that goes from a 50% to a 60% win equity. And if we can improve your odds at winning even that little bit of percent, we're doing our job, man. We're doing our job. Some people will just delete all their old takes that didn't materialize and be like, yeah, no, I get everything right. And it's like, no, you didn't. You deleted everything, actually. Like, I will own up to the fact that I like Zach Wilson. I like Trey Lance. If you guys have a fucking problem with that, you guys don't want to follow because I had a couple wrong takes, that's on you. That's on you. But appreciate Spicy. He saw through all the Zach Wilson, all the Trey Lance, the actual material behind, you know. No, I'm trolling. 24, your frontal lobe hasn't developed. I feel old, though. I do feel old. No one Wilson was going to bust that bad, though. No, for sure, man. Like, again, if I'm betting on the arm talent, mobility, second overall pick every time, like, he's a good bet to make. Obviously, it didn't materialize because he didn't work out, but say la vie, man. Say la vie. I mean, outside of Trevor Lawrence, who's still a starting quarterback in that class, right? I mean, if I'm thinking about it, none of them are, right? It's just Trevor Lawrence. And even you can make the argument that even Trevor Lawrence is oh, shit, I'm on the clock. DeMar Douglas. Yeah, for sure. You can make the case that Trevor Lawrence, like, yeah, he's a good quarterback, but maybe we expect him to be the third best quarterback in the league by now. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully, people compared him to Rodgers coming out of the draft. Yeah, I mean, like, he had the arm elasticity that we, prototype with a guy like Aaron Rodgers. So it's tough, man. I genuinely feel like the physical makeup was there. It's just he could never adjust mentally, right? That combine throw, amen. Oh, you guys are also entertaining. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm trying my best. Sometimes I spew some nonsense. Sometimes, like, for example, on the wide receiver rankings video, apparently at one point I'm like, yeah, sometimes, there's the double condom safe wide receivers, and then sometimes you just got to raw dog a BTJ. And it took me to watch the video when it came out to realize that I said raw dog a BTJ on a video. But somebody pointed it out that it might be the worst analogy they've ever heard. Hey, I come up with some good analogies. Some of them are shit, man. Like, I just kind of throw them at the wall and see what sticks sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, at the end of the day, if we can provide some entertainment value along with the overall fantasy expertise that we try our best to give you guys, that's all I can really ask for. By the way, so what tight ends are available? Noah Fant here and then Tucker Kraft to end off. Don't mind that move. So we are probably loaded at wide receiver here. We're probably set up. We'll go with Fant and then see what falls back. So I'm very confident at quarterback. I'm very confident now because we have Laporta and our close-off tight end at our 2. We just draft, one more running back and one more wide receiver, and we're cooking here. I like this build. I'm not gonna lie. Can you talk about your thoughts on Herbert? Seeing him fall past pick 140 feels too cheap. I think, so the thing with Justin Herbert is that the volume doesn't project great with Greg Roman. The weapon score isn't that great. But what I keep coming back to, man, is like, are we overthinking him? Like, this is a guy I think is the 4th best quarterback in the league. This guy is a superstar level talent. So taking him off the board, like you said, at like quarterback 15, 16, 17, it just doesn't feel good. It reminds me of a couple years ago when we said the same thing about Patrick Mahomes. Yes, he's the best quarterback in the league, but look how bad his weapons are. And then he ended up finishing as the NFL MVP with 41 touchdown passes. Like, there's just some guys in the league that can overcome at that level. And I think Herbert's the type of talent that can. Again, baseline projection, it's tough to rank him over Tua. It's tough to rank him over Jared Goff. It's tough to rank him even over Caleb Williams. But if he just goes out there and plays like Justin Herbert, that's the concern. Now, I will say the last couple of years in terms of overall fantasy prowess, not quite like what he was in his first two, but I think the talent is still there to bounce back for sure. Yeah, Carts. Yes, sir. Fantasy hot takes is funny. Amen, bro. Amen. No, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. Wait till you're 30? Wait till I'm 30. Fuck, man. I don't want to wait till I'm 30. That's 6 years away, man. Real talk. Like, I'm just trying to picture now where we're at, 2030, where the channel is, where me and Corey are in our lives. I mean, he's probably going to have 3 kids by then while I'm still living in my mom's house. Like, shit's wild how, like, in the last 4 years, how much has changed, and just projecting 6 more on top, what things could look like by 30. You know, again, I fucking love what I'm doing. I'm passionate about what I'm doing. I have no fucking plans to ever do anything differently in terms of bringing you guys as much content, as much valuable content as we possibly can. But like, who knows, man? Like, where are we going to be at? Are we going to be talking, you know, a different brand of fantasy football? Like, is it going to be like a different style? There's Canton, there's Devi, there's Dynasty, there's Redraft, there's Best Ball Now. Is there just a new format that's the crave by then? Is there like a pick system? Like, it's so funny to contextualize how much the sport has changed since we started and how many more adaptations can happen up until 2030. So it's exciting, but it's also like, oh my God, like, who knows, like, what's going to be thrown? Like, what if there's just like something else coming? Like, what if there's just this new way to play fantasy football? Like, I have no clue, and it's exciting. You know what I'm saying? So that's the best way I can describe it. I don't know if my speaking there wasn't the greatest, but hopefully you guys got the context. Hey, Dan, if you're number 1 ranked contender in a dynasty league, I assume you run with it until the reels fall off. If you're a number 1 ranked contender, we're on the clock. Running back, Mitchell. Yeah. Sorry, we needed a running back there for sure. Okay. If you're the number 1 ranked contender, I'm just going to go out and compete, to be honest. Once you fall to like number 4 and you have aging assets, then at that point you can consider it. But if you're by far the best team in the league, just go try to win. I watched FSC's old videos recently, and Bush wasn't even half of them. LMAO, what was going on in the early stages? Yeah. Oh, if you guys watched in the first year, fun context, funny little tidbit. If you guys have been following for the whole 4 years, you'll know that it wasn't always just me and Bush. There was 4 of us when we initially started. If you guys know Lucas, actually, he's still a constant with us. We still communicated with him on a day-to-day basis. Lucas, he's actually, Bindles, if you're still in here, he's actually in our Devi League. So shout out Lucas. He was a big contributor early on. Yeah, we'll go with Javon Baker here. He was a big contributor early on. We had another guy that was contributing with us with his name was Tyler, but it was so funny because like half the time, like me or Bush weren't on the videos, and they were on the videos. And it's just crazy because by that summer, they ended up going on with different things. Me and Corey obviously stayed with the Fantasy Stock Exchange. And I mean, Bob's your uncle. Everything ever since has been great for us, right? It is funny, though. If you guys want an activity to do after this stream, even if you don't watch the entire video, go to the first video on the channel, March 29, I believe, 2020. We did a 2020 NFL mock draft. Me and Lucas were on that video. I called us the Fantasy Shaders. This is before we even had our YouTube name settled. We didn't even brand at that point. I just put the video on the channel and set it and forget it, right? So it's just hilarious. Again, I couldn't speak at all. I mean, you guys think I might not be able to speak now because I keep mumbling my words on this live stream, but you want to watch some ugly Danny Ladster communication skills. Try out when we first started on YouTube. And that's the beauty of it. That's why I'll never delete old videos, because seeing how you started, seeing the progression year to year, video to video, what you pick up on, what skills, how we edit differently, how we make our thumbnails differently, how we talk about certain takes differently. back then we were just like staring at our screens, reading our notes, versus now we're engaging with you guys, talking off the cuff. Like, it's really fun seeing how we've progressed over these last 4 years. But if you want a fun exercise, watch just how different that first video was. Me talking fantasy shaders. That was like 3 weeks after my 20th birthday. I remember I had an accounting exam right after my 20th birthday. COVID hits. That gets fucking canceled. I go back home and then obviously recorded that first video for the channel that day. So that's hilarious to think of, for sure. Trey Lance feels like Jimmy G 2.0. I mean, they play very different, but I mean, they both played on the Niners, at least. You didn't say pause? I mean, I didn't say pause. No, I didn't. But implied pause. Y'all are entertaining, can't lie. I appreciate that. Hey, sometimes I sound like the rambling Italian, but if you guys get some entertainment value from it, appreciate it. I was going to leave that alone, but LOL. Yeah, no, that's fair. You're bugging on your tight end ranks, my boy. Explain, Samuel. What problem do you have with the tight end ranks, my boy? That line made me laugh. Yeah. I think I realized it afterwards. I'm like, did I really just say sometimes you got a raw dog of ETJ? Like, it's wild. Would you trade Burrow for Herbert plus? I would. Now, people wanted to tell me, hey, you're a Burrow hater. I'm not a Burrow hater. The guy's going to be 28 years old. The guy is what? A slightly younger version of Dak in fantasy? Like, I don't know. He's definitely still a 1-2 turn startup pick, but I see people say, oh, he's the 104. And I'm like, I can't get on board there. So for me, if you can get a solid amount of plus, like, yeah, I would take Herbert for sure. Feeling like a best ball quarterback. That's fair. Report on Sleeper that it came out like an hour ago said Drake May has continued to take. I'm cool. Like, hey, if Jacoby Brissett starts the first few weeks of the season, I'm fine with it, to be honest, because I think Drake May is going to be a superstar. Holy crap, my nose is itchy. Couldn't agree more. Jacoby, yes, sir. Question, will you get frames? I probably do. They probably look a little ugly just hanging out like that, eh? Yeah, definitely email. If you want us to hop on or whatever, like, I'm down whenever, genuinely. Like, genuinely. Yeah, that's the best way to say it. Did you run much puppy super? I have not yet, but that is the next plan. By the way, I appreciate you, Spicy, for these last couple drafts. I'm just reading the comments now. Protecting man. See, he is a nice guy and a chiller and has good takes now. He has learned. Amen. No, no, Mason's a great guy. Now, doing some football trivia shit was insane. Like, oh my God. Yeah. If you guys don't remember the OG channel, like, we were doing so many random off the cuff videos. Like, we had like trivia. We had like it was called Gather of Gods, where we would take certain categories and try to build the best team possible. Like, some of the first year content we had was like all over the place. It was wild, man. Like, that was when, like, again, appreciate if you guys are one of the OG like 50, 60 people that were watching us back then, where we're literally just throwing everything on the YouTube page and seeing what stuck. Appreciate you guys, because that was the most random stuff ever. The air was so awkward in those videos. The evolution of yeah, dude. We didn't know when one person was stopping, when one person was going to talk. Sometimes there was like literally tension in the videos because we didn't know how to manage our emotions. Like, you learn a lot just from fucking recording and doing this for 4 years, man. Like, again, do I feel like I'm perfect at this thing? Absolutely fucking not. Do I feel like I am miles better than when I started? Absolutely. And I mean, if I can just keep getting better and better every fucking day, maybe eventually perfect isn't the standard that's possible to reach, but you want to get as close to it as you can. And again, I'm never going to be perfect because I still make insane jokes sometimes, but hey, say Livy. What's the story behind the bandana? Funny enough, the reason why I have the bandana is the first videos we actually hopped on. So first video on the channel, like I said, March 29th, 2020. If you guys are familiar with Notorious Fantasy in the space, he's one of our close friends. We actually met him. So if you guys know the context of how me and Corey met, which I'll go in a second, we met through the BDGE Slack channel at the time. So it was me in there, Corey was in there, Notorious was in there. So we all became friends in there. And the first video I ever hopped on with, it was actually on Notorious's channel for NFL offseason free agency predictions. And I had just hopped out of the shower. I was at uni at the time. I went to my classes, came back from the gym, showered up, and my hair was still super, super wet. So I'm like, oh, fuck, my hair's drenching wet. Let me just throw a bandana on and point it up. So I'm wearing a bandana on that. And I'm like, maybe I just got to wear a bandana on every video. So there's a couple videos in the first year when I would go to my dad's house where like I didn't have it, but realistically 95+% of the videos on the channel, I have my bandana. If you guys actually see this one specifically, I got last year. I've told the story a million times, but I'm not sure if you can see. Nah, you probably can't, but this actually has a JID signature on it. You might be able to see it there. You might be able to see the J, but yeah. I went to a JID concert. This specific bandana I got at the concert. Got back like a meet and greet. Got early access. Was right at the fucking fences hearing him perform. It was him. It was Smino, and it was what was it? There was the. Oh my god, I can't remember who opened for them, but it was a good time. It was a good time. I think you have Pitts at tight end 4, correct? Yeah. Let me see where I have him exactly. No, he's tight end 5. He's tight end 5. I have Laporta, Kelsey, McBride, Andrews, Pitts, Kincaid, Kittle, Bowers, Engram, Ferguson, and Njoku, and then Hawkinson's at 12 because I'm worried about the knee injury, and apparently he's not going to be ready for week 1. We kind of know that because of the nature of when he suffered the injury. Is he going to be available by week 6, week 7? That's probably about the timeline I would set for him to be fully back. So I kind of downgraded him a bit. I took Burrow from Mahomes in our startups coming off that Super Bowl soon. Oh, no. No, you took Burrow over Mahomes? Fuck. Not going to lie, I love when Canadians get hyped for American football. Dude, and that actually goes back to what I mentioned with COD, what I mentioned with poker, what I mentioned with Rocket League, for example, where, dude, when I get into something, I am the most passionate person. So I got introduced to football, like I said, initially in 2008, and actually, though, like fully fully invested into it in 2009 when my ex-stepdad came into my life. He was a Cowboys fan. I ended up signing up to play football that year. I was this little. It is so funny, by the way. My first year I played football, they saw, this thick, short, chubby Italian little 10-year-old kid. My coach is like, yeah, you're going to play defensive tackle. But when I came into the team, I'm like, I want to play quarterback. So they're just like, yeah, whatever. You're going to play defensive line. You're going to play D tackle. We're playing in a preseason game, and our quarterback that they put at quarterback just was not leading the ball down the field at all. We're playing the best team in the league. We could not get any advancements on offense. He was not playing well, whatever. Coach is just like, hey, Danny, go in for this series at quarterback. I want to see something. First play he calls was a play action boot where I just roll out and I take off. Because again, we're 10 years old. We're not really throwing the ball across the yard. But keep in mind, again, I'm like this 4'11", 125-pound, 130-pound, 10-year-old kid playing quarterback. How many 10-year-old kids are tackling me? And the answer was none, because I scored 2 touchdowns from 40-plus yards out on my first 2 touches playing on that team because nobody on the field could tackle me. So I ended up leading us to the championship. They switched me to quarterback after that game. I led us to the championship game, and we narrowly lost in the championship. But I'll still remember that he put me at defensive tackle and then ended up switching me to quarterback, this little 4'11", 130-pound chubster 10-year-old. And I just went on a freaking Linsanity run. Now, that was my final year actually playing starting quarterback because I was always like a backup quarterback option if our starter got hurt. But after that, like I was just straight linebacker, fullback, tight end. That's basically what I was playing throughout because I loved hitting the crap out of people. I'm not going to lie. Like if you played football, you'll understand what I'm saying. But there's like a little bit of like a psychotic nature that you have where like you're a chill guy. But when you're on the field, man, the adrenaline, the pump that you got, like you want to absolutely freaking put licks on people. So once I got the feeling of wanting to hit people, like I was linebacker, fullback, tight end the whole time. But I was always a backup quarterback option in case our starter got hurt because our coaches knew that I could play it. And actually one year when I was in Pee Wee or Bantam, I want to say, our starting quarterback against the best team in the league fractured his collarbone and missed the next 4 games. So I came in that game. Again, we were losing big. It was the best team in the league. We lost that game. And then in the next 3 games, I believe I led us to a 2-1 record, filling at quarterback. And as soon as our starting quarterback came back, I went back at linebacker. I went back at tight end. But yeah, I won MVP that year because I played a few games at quarterback. It was kind of funny. How did you and Corey meet? So again, I've said the story before, but if you guys are unfamiliar, I'll a little bit rehash it. TLDR version of it is we met in the BDG Slack channel. We were all, like I said, all 4 of us at the time writing for a specific site. My first ever article I put out was a CeeDee Lamb draft guide breakdown on my 20th birthday, March 9, 2020. CeeDee Lamb was my wide receiver 1. And if you guys were watching our stream during the 2020 draft, you'll know my reaction when we drafted CeeDee Lamb. Obviously, it's aged very fucking well considering he's one of the 3 or 4 best guys in the freaking league at this point. So that's fun. But we met there. Again, we were working for the site at the time. We all kind of realized, like, hey, this site, we don't know if it's really going much where we want in the direction we want it to take. So we branch off. We end up creating the channel. And I mean, the rest is history. The rest is history. But the funniest part was when we're in the Slack channel. So we're doing not an underdog, a Dynasty mock draft, right? We're doing a Dynasty mock draft, and we're all in there. And I'm joking around, whatever. I'm in the middle of my gym set when we're drafting. So it's about to be my pick. And as a joke in the chat, I'm like, give me a sec, boys. I'm just finishing this set. And I had like 5 plates loaded on the deadlift. And I just sent a picture when I was at my school gym. And Corey recognized the school gym because the college he was going to was less than 20 minutes away from my school gym at my uni I was at. So we realized we were both from the same area. Like he said, literally an hour away from me. And like after that, like it's hilarious that that's how basically the fantasy stock exchange came to be. So funny how things work out, man. You never know. Like hell, before COVID hit, like I didn't even know I'd be getting into YouTube. Before COVID hit, my plan, because I stopped playing football in grade 11. I had a few concussions in my last couple years before I quit. My plan was to get back into full shape and try to walk back on at my school university team. I was in contact with the coaches. I got a lot stronger. My movement was very good. COVID hits, obviously that really, skewed that plan. And I'm like, you know what? I've always dreamt about doing YouTube, talking football on a day-to-day basis. But the problem is that with uni and with potentially preparing for football, I never thought I had enough time. Well, COVID hits. Now I have enough time. And I realized, no, this is not something I have to make time for. This is something I have to make time around. This is the main fucking thing in my fucking life now. And everything else is secondary. Everything else is tertiary. Everything else is like, oh, like I can do this if I have this time off now. Like it's actually crazy how things really came to be. Everybody's saying like, hey, you can never predict shit that happens in this world, man. Like you can never predict, COVID, obviously deadly situation, pandemic, awful situation. I'll tell you right now, if COVID never happens, I don't even know where I'd be at this point. So you got to take your blessings when you get them. You know what I'm saying? I remember someone got mad in the comments like, yeah, no, I will say like that was insensitive on my part. Like I should have had a better filter, but yeah, it's different when you're in like a game chat versus literally on a channel. So I apologize, man. Like that's not something I should say out loud. Again, people have every right to feel, offended over some stuff, but yeah. By the way, the puppy but Superflex is like 90% full. Going to do my last entries. Good luck, brother. Good luck. Yeah, no, tweet me what the teams look like. Hate Mahomes, though. You're an avid hater? Pain. We'll be on the week 8 pup at minimum. Yeah, I think I agree with you, man. Like, that's what I'm worried about. I do, like, for example, in the draft we did where you get an Engram, you can wait on Hawkinson later on in the season. I don't mind that type of build, especially knowing Engram's got a later buy, but I do agree, especially early down. Especially early on. Wait, what am I looking at here? If you're a contender, what quarterback would you sell Burrow for or hold? My other quarterback is Mahomes. Also, are you thinking Anthony Richardson is a hold? Yeah, I do. I do think Anthony Richardson is a hold. I watched Burrow at LSU my freshman year of college. No, that's definitely fair. You guys are great, man. I just watched you guys in the Fantasy Footballers podcast, and that's really it before my drafts. Appreciate the support, Sam. Appreciate the support. Feels great that we're in the rotation with how big the Fantasy Footballs are for you. So appreciate that we made that rotation. He better than no. I agree, he's better than Dak. But if you look at just straight fantasy production, they're very, very similar. Very, very similar. So that's my thought with it. Also worth noting, I mean, you could talk about it. Sure, call me biased. I didn't think Eli Manning was all that, for the record. So he has a Brady Manning element to his game. Yeah, I'm just talking specifically for fantasy football. Again, I would rank Burrow higher than Dak in real life standing if that's what you're asking. But in fantasy, they're like virtually identical in terms of production, especially over like the last 4 years. Mahomes' dad is chill, but his brother sucks in his fair. Well, it is crazy. It is crazy. We were the funniest part about that is we were again, I haven't watched much fantasy recently, but when I was like watching fantasy, like I was sub to Nick like before he was at 1,000 subscribers. So like I remember like watching the content back in like 2016, 2017. So it's really crazy. Like now, like, since 2020, I've been basically, doing what I've been doing, right? CD for life. Amen, brother. Amen. Let's go. And the Chiefs are the Zebras' good friends. Yeah, no, they are. They are for sure. Ravens should have won. I don't know about that, but no, the Ravens have a great team. Fire Channel, yes, sir. Need 2 out of Ford, Sutton, Samuel, Worthy, Bowers, Chandler, Thomas Jr. Who do you like? I mean, is this just a redraft team? If that's the case, I mean, but I'm confused. Lance, what's the context of the question? Also, what's the rest of your team? Because like I would argue that it would be Bowers plus Brian Thomas Jr., but like I don't know the context. Is this redraft? Is this best ball? What's the rest of your team right now? What's the scoring if it's not underdog? Like I need a little bit more context here, Lance. By the way, I will close the stream at the 2-hour mark because I don't want to go too long for watchability purposes. Oh, sorry. 2-hour-old coffee is a little bit cold. Rebuilding Dynasty, Higgins and Jonathan Brooks or AJ Brown. I mean, it's pretty fair. If you're rebuilding, I don't mind getting the younger options, but I would rather personally try to sell AJB for draft capital if you can, if you're rebuilding, because you don't want to accept the point equity back on your team. So if you can get an offer of like at least 2+ firsts of equivalent value for AJ Brown, I mean, maybe not plus, but if you can get 2 firsts for AJ Brown, I feel like I would be able to make that move. In fantasy, that's fair, but Dak low-key, a nice fantasy quarterback. 100%. I mean, he's also high-key or good real-life quarterback. And again, like I'd prefer Burrow, but like people just, they see Dak, they talk shit. It's the Cowboys. I get it. It's similar to like, again, I think Joel Embiid is better in comparison to Dak in terms of real life NBA standing versus where Dak is amongst the NFL. But like, it's a very similar case to the Philadelphia 76ers where they always have the talent, they have the star power, but they haven't made a conference finals. And everybody is going to hate them until they get over that hurdle. Everybody's going to talk about Joel Embiid. Oh, fat ass. He's always hurt. Like he always chokes in the playoffs. He's a regular season performer. And it's like, until you win the ring, people are going to say that. But once you get over that hurdle, people don't say that, right? You think Cowboys trade Dak? I think he's got. I don't see that at all. I think Dak is back. I feel like at this point he knows the leverage that he has. He knows that the next deal that he signs. I mean, we just saw fucking Jared Goff get what, $55 million a year. Like if you're Dak Prescott, how are you not saying, hey, if Goff's getting 55, give me 60 right the fuck now? That's kind of what it comes down to. And people might say, oh, 60 million, that's too much. Dak Prescott, he's only like, he's like the quarterback 14 in the league. Which, by the way, people who say that, like, I don't know what you're watching. Like he's not quarterback 14, but I digress. It's the same thing when he signed the previous contract, 40 million. People are like, oh, 40 million. That's so much to pay for Dak Prescott. Oh my God. It's like in 3 years time, when the next bunch of quarterbacks are making 70 to 75 annually, you're going to be talking about it as a steal of a deal. That's how the quarterback market works. If you're signing them for 60 million in year one, yeah, year one, that's a big cap hit. But if you're signing them to a 4 or 5 year deal, by year 3, year 4, year 5, that future value of that deal, maybe it's worth 60 million relative this year, but in 3 or 4 years, that 60 million worth is going to be worth like whatever, 48 million relative to this year. So you got to think about it in terms of future value. When you're getting them at 60 million, you have to understand that on a per year basis, the value is going to keep going up. So if you don't sign him this year, if the going rate's 60 this year, you don't sign him, you're looking at 62.5 to 65 for next year. So I don't understand why the Cowboys wait so long to extend their guys. Like, again, I hate the fucking Eagles, but they get proactive. They sign their studs early. And that's what I respect about that organization is they know how to sign their studs early. The Cowboys just simply want to wait till last minute and put themselves in a position where they have no leverage. It's dumb. It's dumb. Thanks, man. I may wait on AJB until he blows up first couple of weeks, see if I can get a couple first. Yeah, I think that's a good play there, Aaron. Another one, Kyron or Ty Chandler, Aaron Jones in a 2026 second. Kyron versus Ty, Aaron Jones. That's probably a fair deal, I would say. Like, if you need, I think I would still hold Kyron for that. I just don't feel like any of the pieces you get back are strong enough in relation to Kyron. That's kind of where I'm at. Speaking of contracts, you think Ayuk gets a deal done? He should. He's the best wide receiver on that team. People are saying Debo. Like, and I understand Debo for what Shanahan wants to do stylistically is a big impact in that offense. But I feel like Pearsall can do a lot more of that Debo manufactured stuff than just straight up line up at X wide receiver, beat a guy off the line, be able to work in the third portion of the field. Brandon Ayuk is one of the 6 to 8 best wide receivers in the league, in my opinion. I really do feel like he's a superstar talent. And if he was in a situation where he got elite wide receiver volume, we'd be looking at a 1,500, 1,600 yard wide receiver. I truly believe that. Love all the content, by the way. You guys are putting in the work and it's appreciated. Sorry, my bad. I had some heartburn. Love all the content. By the way, you guys are putting in the work. It's appreciated. Appreciate that, Aaron. Appreciate that. Sorry, I can't talk right now. Oh, my God. Oh, not Cam. I drafted Ricky. I think he should leave and bag chase, in my opinion. He should, but I mean, I would rather them just trade Debo, like, to be honest. And I think that makes their team better than trading Ayuk, personally. But I digress. But either way, again, appreciate you guys. 176 of you have made it this far. We had some best ball talk, some dynasty talk, some content talk, how we started talk, and of course, because I'm solo, we got the Call of Duty talk as well. I mean, the boys are rolling. We're in a good point. We're having good vibes. I will answer this last question from Lance because he did have some context on the previous league. He says he has AJ Brown, Amari Cooper, Pickens, and for tight end Andrews and Goddard in a PPR league. So is this a dynasty? If that's the case, give me Bowers and Brian Thomas Jr. very easily if you don't have a tight end, for sure. What do we think of that second round wide receiver year? Adney, Ladd, Leggett, Ricky. So for me, I prefer Ladd by far over the rest of them. For me, if I had to rank these guys, it would be Ladd, Leggett. Who do I have higher between Ricky and AD? I want to say I have AD a little bit higher, but let me check. Dynasty rankings. I'm actually unsure. Who do I have higher between Pearsall? I have AD at 42, Pearsall at 43 for the record. And then I would have Roman and Malachi Corley a good amount after those guys, and Polk not too far from them. He's at 45 for me. But again, appreciate you guys for making it this far. I'm going to go use the washroom because I've been on for 2 hours and this coffee is really mixing in the system. So stay tuned this week. Once Corey comes back, I'm sure we will be doing another live stream, possibly a dynasty draft live stream potentially. And of course, we're going to have you guys covered with the content throughout the week. We're going to get some more video content. Again, we pre-recorded some of those rankings videos for the last week when Corey was in Europe. Once he's back, we will be getting back to recording them, posting them within the next day. So stay tuned for that. But appreciate you, dog. Yes, sir. If you guys enjoyed, like I said, 174, leave a like. Peace out. We'll talk to you guys soon.